No rest for the wicked on this October long weekend. No public holiday for us. We get to go racing in Sim World, and it's the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Monday Night Motorsport here on SimShed Broadcasting. Tonight, we head as the GT and Intro to Wing series continues from Europe to Asia and to the Okayama International Circuit, of course, former home of the 1994 and 1995 Pacific Grand Prix, the venue that we visited last Wednesday night for the GT3s and the GT4 TCR combined race. And we're looking forward to seeing how it all plays out in Intro to Wings after a very carnage-packed race at the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit last Monday night. Good evening, everybody. Zach Cabin and Paul Nichols with you. Welcome to October Long Weekend Holiday Monday Motorsport for you. And Nico, welcome back to you. You've had a week off. It's good to have you back in the chair. Intro to Wings and GT3 tonight, both of which should provide plenty of entertainment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be an awesome night of racing. So same track, Intro to Win. So Pro Mazda's be awesome. So looking forward to these guys on track. Will be fantastic.
Indeed it will, of course. We'd normally have Nico Pop with us, but he's out attending to real world issues at the moment with his automobile, so we wish him the best with that. I think he'll come in and join us in the back end of the broadcast of the GT3 series. Michael Hammond had a shocker last week. It's fair to say in Intro to Wings, he was coming back through the field and got caught up as an innocent bystander in just about every single incident that happened on the circuit. But he will still be one of the cars to keep an eye on here tonight. It's a 10-minute qualifying session. You're joining us just at the start of that. We'll get stuck into racing very shortly here. And this is Jackson Rayhana on a flying lap here, heading towards the top of the timesheets. So very nicely done from Jackson Rayhana. Hey, Paul, let's have a little bit of a chat about Intro to Wings. The Mazda open wheeler here that we normally see in the Pro Mazda series in the United States. That's the car of choice. Instead of using the short configurations like we have done on the Catalunya circuit and also on the Brands Hatch circuit, we're on the full circuit here in Okayama, and it's a circuit that will provide plenty of overtaking and slipstream opportunities, particularly on the back straight we're having a look at now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think these cars are certainly suited. We could have done a short course, but the idea, I think, for this car particularly, I think this corner here where you talk about is that turn 6, turn 7 through the kinks there and the left and right handers. I think there's a great opportunity for overtaking there. So the back section of the corner, back section of the course before you get onto the back straight is really, you need to be very patient through this back section and making sure that you got your car set up to have a good run down the front straight.
Indeed, you do. So Jackson Rayhana on another flyer. Here's Michael Hammer time. Hammond on a flyer himself. Around onto the main straight here. Across the start-finish line. Let's have a look and see the time to beat. 1:35.5 there for Michael Hammond. So the lap times around here are going to be interesting. Because obviously the open wheelers and the GTs, two completely different cars, but the pace in the GTs, Nico, has been around that 90-second bracket, maybe just a little bit south of, and that's going to set us up for an awesome 45 minutes. The Intro to Wings, however, a 20-minute sprint, so the overtaking opportunities they're going to have to make the most of. The laps, it's going to be a short, sharp sprint. No time for mucking around here, unlike last Monday night.
No, absolutely not. I mean, last Monday, the Porsche Cup Elite Series, there was quite a bit of carnage the first couple of laps. So hopefully we don't have the same issue. I think Mikey's just done a 1:26.1, which is actually quicker than the GT3s around here. So really interesting that the Pro Mazdas don't have as much power, but they certainly have more downforce. So interesting to see that Mikey and Jackson are up there at the front. So 1:26.14 and then 1:26.15 for Jackson. So and also Adam Coghlan 1:27.0. So really close time at the front there.
26 cars in the server at this point in time. So Hammond, Rayhana and Coghlan and Harris, the top four. You can see the timing screen at the top left-hand corner there. We're here, of course, with thanks to Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Racecraft, Flash Graphics, Ocular, and Simple Sim Computers. Also, Stone Cold Racing supplying the replay footage for us. And there's Michael Hammertime Hammond on your screen here. 26.05 for Michael Hammond. He's now the fastest on the circuit. He's only a tenth clear of Ray Hanna. And this is interesting, Paul. Ray Hanna and of course, Hammer. They're teammates nowadays. They're working together. Will they work together here, or do you think this is the night where Jackson might actually just say, hang on, you might be the teammate, but I'm going to try and get the better of you?
I definitely think they'll work together for the first probably half of the race and then see what happens. Jackson obviously won the up-and-comers last season, so he's certainly got some form. Mikey Hammond is obviously one of the quickest guys in the club. In every car, he's one of those guys that's very adaptable to any car that he jumps in. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go tonight. Warwick Sharp won 26.6, so probably half a second off the pace at the moment. So the top two guys, Mikey and Jackson, obviously, I think it's theirs to win it or lose it, as we say.
Absolutely. We invite you to join us on Twitch, YouTube, and also Facebook Live tonight, folks. We're here till about 10 Eastern time, and I'm going to work in New South Wales Victorian time because stuff Queensland. It's
1908.
Yeah, exactly, 1908 up here. I'm actually surprised we've got modern technology up here. As I said last week, I'm really surprised, given the divisive issue that daylight saving is up here. I'm actually really surprised they didn't kick up a stink and throw the pram and the toys out of the cot when the analog television was shut down after you, actually, to be honest with you. It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds left in qualifying as they make their way onto the back straight one more time. So you're watching the Jamie McKnight entry, 10th place in this field at this point in time as they head down towards what is known as turn 5 here. Having just opened the other server, I can see that Josh Thomas has had a big one coming onto the main straight, so that's not going to end very well for him. 10 minute 2-lap qualifying, so no opportunity here to muck this up. You've got to get in, put together a clean lap, and then try and improve on it. And as we've seen already tonight, Paul Nichols, this isn't the easiest place to master in one lap, let alone two.
Yeah, absolutely not. I mean, in the outlap, I think there's a learning curve for a lot of these guys. I mean, the intro to wins is all about understanding downforce, but tyres as well. So you jump out in the first lap. I mean, your tyre temperature's certainly not up. Your tyre pressure's not up. You need to take that first lap and get us probably the first lap, your flying lap needs to be a banker. You probably need to do about a 90% lap, and then the third lap, being your second running lap, will be your fastest lap if possible.
Indeed. So McKnight jumps up to 5th there, displacing Thomas. Selby Wood also back there to 7th. Interesting to note, Michael Hammertime Hammond on top here by only 1/10 of a second. And, wow, 1 second covers the top 9. So we're in for a really tight race tonight. But I don't think anyone will be happy if they have the amount of incidents they had last Monday night, Paul Nichols. The intro to Wings race on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, it all started on the grid. Cars stalling on the grid, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, it was quite a chaotic start. I'm going to jump in a moment and do the pre-start, pre-briefing for the race, so the pre-queue, so I'll be back in a minute.
No worries, mate. Thank you for that. A minute and a half to go in qualifying here. Let's update you on track conditions actually at the Okayama circuit. And a very nice day for this one. The track, 40 degrees. The ambient, 20 degrees. I don't think I've ever seen such a difference between the ambient and the track. I mean, normally you wouldn't get that significant a rise in track temperature on an ambient 20-degree day. So that's interesting to see. 3 kilometres an hour is our winds to the northerly of direction. As I said, the race is only 20 minutes long. Pace car speed 64 km an hour. Pit lane speed 60 kilometres an hour. These are the Pro Mazdas, of course. The identical setup to baseline Pro Mazdas. There will be incident points every 17 points and then every 10 after that. So keep an ear out for that, and there's no, or keep an eye out for that, I should say, and there's no limit on fast repairs. Should also point out we have 27 in the server, 25 as set times. We have got our eyes on the 016 at the moment. So session winding down here. The 016 is, of course, Jared Smith, one of the two cars that hadn't set a time. Brad Clenk also yet to set a time in this session, but the session is over, so bad luck. Clenk and Smith will be starting at the rear of the grid. How about that? It'll be a rolling start here. I think that's probably a wise decision after what we saw last week.
I'd say so, yeah. I think the rolling start will get people's tyres temps up higher. So I think turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 will be interesting, and we'll keep an eye on it.
For sure. So this circuit, 3.72 kilometres, 11 turns, former home of the Pacific Formula One Grand Prix. It doesn't host a lot of top-tier international motorsport in 2020. Well, nowhere does, actually. But it's certainly a very prominent circuit in the local domestic scene. Gearing up for a start here. So let's have a look at the grid at this point in time. The results from qualifying. Michael Hammertime Hammond from pole position alongside Jackson Rayhana. Warwick Sharp and Tim Harris from row 2. Jamie McKnight and Dave Trevathan from row 3. Josh Thomas and Brett Selby-Wood from row 4. Then Leith McClymont and Adam Coughlin from row 5. Justin Schwercourt and Jared Daly from row 6. We'll go over the page now. Josh Millard and Pete Matson from row 7. Wayne Visser and Ash Phillip from row 8. David Johnson and Andrew Hayes from row 9. Sean Reeves and Nigel Patton from row 10. Declan Reinhardt and Luke Keamy from row 11. And Nathan Cullen and Daniel Ahern from row 12. Interesting to note, of course, Nico, last week, Jared Daly come through and cleaned up in a race that had absolutely everything thrown at it. This week, I'm expecting order to be restored. It's got to be either Hammond or Rayhana as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the dark horse is Warwick, actually. Warwick's one of those drivers that certainly improved over the last probably 12 months. Yeah, look out for Warwick.
Indeed. Let's have a look at the championship standings heading into this round. A little bit late setting things up at my end tonight, folks, so that's why we haven't run through them already. 56 for Michael Hammond, Julia Mucky 48, Adam Coughlin 47, and Warwick Sharp 38. Ash Phillip on 34, then Pete Matson on 33, Brad Stroyescu on 32. How the hell did he manage to get a clean race last week is beyond me. Joe Baldwin is on 31, and my apologies, it was, of course, Joe Baldwin, not Jared Daly, winning last week. I'm getting my Baldwins and my Dailies mixed up. But just having a look through the server here, I can't see Joe on the grid. So that's unfortunate. We wait for the start nevertheless. Hammond and Rayhana the front row. Warwick Sharp and Tim Harris the second row. Then Jamie McKnight and Dave Trevathan. Watch Hammond. Once he puts the foot down, we go racing. They're in the starter's hands now. Off. Racing. Hammond by the country mile. Rayhana tucks in behind immediately. Harris looked to go with. Rayhana was unable to, and therefore Sharp tucks into third spot. We all managed to somehow get safely through the first corner. So we've gone further this week than we did last week, and everybody's cleanly and safely away, and that's what we like to see. On board with Josh Thomas now. On board in a onesie, apparently, as they make their way onto the back straight. So again, 20 minutes length here. GT race coming up, 45 minutes. Both on the full circuit in Okayama.
Also, keep an eye on Jamie McKnight. Jamie McKnight's one of the best V8 drivers in Australia. He joined the club recently. A member of the Wheelie Bins Racing Club, or Wheelie Bins Mayhem Republic. So he's jumped in recently. So I'd look out for Jamie.
Indeed we will. So, the Intro to the Wings Series, round 3. The Okayama International Circuit. They're making their way through the tight, twisty section of the circuit here. We've got a spinner at the back. We got Leith McClymont round the wrong way. A lot of drivers taking evasive action there through the dirt, no less, to avoid him. So a few clean races probably ruined right there with McClymont's spin. Here's the replay.
Yeah, he's locked it under the brakes, I'd say.
I'd say so.
No one else taking out. Good.
Sponsored by Snap On, and that's somewhat appropriate because the car snaps sideways.
Snap off from the rear wheels, yeah.
Exactly. Rightio. Let's have a look at Hammer Time leading the way. Rayhana there, second spot at the moment. Round onto the back straight they come. We'll be right on board with Hammond. And let's be honest, Paul, we were talking last week in the Porsche races on Wednesday night and also the TCR GT4 race before that. The short circuit, limited overtaking opportunities. However, there's not too many more on the full circuit here as we see Jackson Rayhana close right up on Michael Hammond. You're probably thinking turn 1, turn 4, turn 5, and maybe turn 8, but there aren't too many other legitimate passing opportunities than that without forcing the issue.
Yeah, definitely turn 1 is one of those opportunities. You can either probably take a wider line or take an inside line and try and get through there. Turn 2, turn 3, there's a possibility. Turn 4, 5, and 6, the kind of chicane or a bit of a dog leg there. Yeah, there's definitely opportunities there, but through the back end of the course, before you go on the front straight, you really have to just be patient. Get your run up into the front straight and make sure you've got some speed there. Really interesting to see how the guys go. So far, so good. It's like we've got 26 cars on the lead lap, which is fantastic.
Indeed we do. We make our way around one more time. So Lee Williamson sitting there in 15th place at the moment, coming under pressure from the car behind him, of course, in Sean Rees, Daniel O'Hearn as well. Dave Trevathan in amongst all that rubbish at the start at turn 8 has slipped all the way back to 18th. Now, given that this is a 20-minute sprint, pit stops won't come into play, and therefore for Trevathan it's a long way back. Now make it 70th, down onto the back straight. There's Josh Millard in 12th. Trackside cameras from the Okayama International Circuit. We've got a spinner at the end of the back straight. The cars are about to come past it. Josh Millard. The car on the inside there is Tim Harris. Wow.
Well,
he was running 5th at the time. So one of the top 5 out of contention now with damage as well. There'll be a fast repair coming his way. Here it is again. He was chasing Jamie McKnight at the time, and now Brad Clank's had a spin while we're following that. So too Lee Williamson, but there's the spin for Tim Harris to fill in the gaps for you.
Could be post-race review there, I'd say.
I'd say so. In fact, I was going to say the stewards would have had fun reviewing some of last week's incidents, Nico. Not just on Monday night, but on the Wednesday and Friday as well.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I think most of them are resolved so far. A couple of racing incidents, a couple of things that need to be penalised. So, yeah, I mean, that's the good thing about the club. We try and treat this as real life, and hopefully the guys, that's why the club's grown so quickly. We try and treat this as closely as we can to real life. And, yeah, a few incidents, a few penalties. I'm sure that it's been posted up on our Facebook page. So the stewards are doing a great job all week.
Indeed they have. Don't forget to like the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Incorporated broadcast page, ladies and gentlemen, our new streaming platform on Facebook. That's where you'll be able to join us on Wednesday night for all the action from, I think it's Watkins Glen, so looking forward to that. And then Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on Friday night for the Canadian round of the stock cars, the prod cars, and also the supercars. Now, just on that note, Paul Nichols, the production cars, they've thrown up 2 cracking races in the Mazda MX-5. Are you leaving them in that or giving them something else to play with?
I think we have a change of car.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
American, maybe? I don't know.
Brilliant. Here we go, on screen. That's Pete Matson now. Across the start-finish line. Looking good, actually. That livery reminds me very much of Jerry Murphy's real-world drive in terms of the livery. The multicolours, stripes and stars and everything. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Murph runs something similar in his Commodore in the Production Car Championship up here in Queensland. They've got the Willowbank 300 this Saturday night. We wish them all the best.
Licorice all sorts.
Yeah, you know the first thing I said to Murph when I saw his real-world version? I said, it looks like tie-dye.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that didn't go down well.
What are those shirts used to change colour under heat? Like tie-dye, like kind of...
Yeah, I think that's what I never got involved in that artsy, crafty sort of stuff. Here's Jackson Rayhana. Have a look at the swagger on him in that. We were extracting the urine out of that the other night. Don't you worry, Paul Nichols. The swagger on the young man in his profile pic there, fantastic stuff.
Very nice.
He didn't come into the chat room on Friday night. He was a little bit peeved, as you can imagine, with some of the things that unfolded. So I never got to ask him if that was actually his Tinder or Bumble profile. Hopefully I'll get that chance tonight. Yeah, definitely. Now, there's trouble at the end of the at turn 8 again. There's all sorts of carnage going on around there. We'll find a replay for you. Here's Jackson Rayhana in the meantime following Michael Hammond around. 0.86 the margin between that pair at this point in time. Here's a look at all this carnage again at turn 8. Started with Daniel O'Hearn. He was the first one to... he was the second one to go around. So the two cars just ahead of him went round first. And a few others had to take evasive action there. Was not fun. 5, 6 cars maybe caught up in all of that. But... really, to be perfectly honest, that is one of the trouble points on the circuit, and we're going to see that again in the GTC Series race in about half an hour's time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this course is, there's some off-camber corners here that you need to be really conscious about your braking markers and let the car kind of, I suppose, let it drift through the corner and not be too aggressive on braking or acceleration. So, as we've seen tonight, there's some guys that have gone a little bit too far and pushed it too far and lost the rear end particularly.
Indeed. Tahi Rayhana, very good evening to you. Always first on to comment and say you guys do a great job at maintaining standards. So that's directed. That's not directed at the commentary because it's a little bit substandard tonight. I'm running at about 6 cylinders after the Queensland Karting Championships up here at the Ipswich Kart Club in Willowbank. But he's talking more about the driving officiating standards at the club. So well done to Tahi Rayhana and the team back there. In Camp Rayhana, they're rooting on Jackson's success. They're cheering him on tonight. So and good to have the young man back in the GT3 series as well. He'll be a welcome addition to what is already a star-studded field there. Have a look at this. Justin Schwerkort around the outside, trying to get by Jared Daly, but unable to get the job done. Watch the slipstream, though, down the back straight here, Nico. And Daly immediately across to the inside and trying to break the toe. Good racecraft here.
Yep. Try and protect the inside.
Schwerkort on the inside. Can't protect it. And there's a little bit of a touch through there, but nothing too bad. Schwerkort on the outside as they go through turn 6, 7, and on the run to 8. Daly's broken clear. And an inch is as good as a mile around here.
Absolutely. I mean, Jared's one of our committee members. He's certainly a very good driver. He knows racecraft. Or something's happened up in front here.
We've got more trouble just up the road here. You're about to see it, folks. So Justin Schwerkort and also Jared Daly have come to blows, I think you'll find. Let's have a look at this. Schwerkort through turn 8. No,
yeah.
So Daly was ahead. And in behind him was Pete Matson. And he's lost it completely there into the side of Schwerkort, and they'll resume down towards the back of the field after a trip to pit lane, I would suspect. Good to tell you that we've got only 2 retirements thus far from the grid that started here. One is Jacqueline Reinhardt, one is Nathan Cullen. They've both manually disconnected, so they're out, they're done. The rest of the field soldiers on at this point in time. 10:57 gone in this race. You can follow along with live timing as well, folks. The link will be on our socials. Michael Hammond has a clear lead at the moment, half a second to Jackson Rayhana. Brenton 2.5 back to Warwick Sharp. Then Jamie McKnight, Adam Coghlan and Jared Daly. Dave Trevor 7th. Brett Selby-Wood 8th. Andrew Hayes 9th and Josh Millard in 10th at this point in time.
Jack's got a bit of run here on the back straight. I think he might have a bit of a run with a bit of draft.
Will he have a crack though, Nico, or will he just... Oh, he will have a crack. Hurry, look at this. Rayhana put the nose through on the inside. Just wasn't close enough to get the job done, but at least Hammer knows he's right there. Now, Paul Nichols, I'll jump back in here if anything happens in this battle up front. But firstly, how was the week off?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, he cleared my head for a while. Yeah, it's been good to be back, actually. I'm looking forward to tonight's race. Actually, I'm going to jump in the Pro-Ams in the GT3s and have a run. I had a practice session today, and my pace was okay, which is really nice, having a week off.
Rightio. Exactly. It's amazing what a week off does to refresh. I mean, I had that a couple of weeks ago, of course, during the off-season, so that was good fun. And we're all gearing up for the next, well, can you believe it? There's only 8 weeks left in the racing year as far as the Gentleman Sim Racing Club is concerned. Have we got anything planned for December in terms of, Christmas non-points races, bashes, whatever the case may be?
Yeah, absolutely, Zach. There'll be some pop-up races. We'll just do some random stuff, and then we'll get kicking in January, probably midway through January, and so when people are back from holidays.
Indeed. Oh, trouble there, contact. That was Hayes, and also... I didn't pick up the other card involved there, but Brett Selby-Wood, I'm being told. So have a look at this. Trouble on the exit of turn 5, I should say, and they've just got their wheels together on the exit there. Bang. And they're so easy to collide or so easy to tangle when they are open wheelers and yet one wheel caught in front of the other. So what I mean there is the front left of one caught in the front of the right rear of the other. From there, there's no control for either of them. They're sitting passengers into the wall they went, and they'll be both heading back to pit lane. So there's another 2 contenders booted out. Yeah,
with these cars, particularly open wheelers in general, if you damage one of your wings, rear wing, front wings, top speed's obviously compromised, also downforce is compromised. So you certainly want to be very conscious about the way you drive these cars and make sure you're as clean as possible. And you look at the front too, both their cars are pristine.
Brett Selby-Wood has retired. We can tell you that after that incident. And with only 6 minutes to go, who could blame him? Because by the time you get the fast repair done, you're a sitting duck, you're a lap down, you've got no hope of salvaging anything much, really, unfortunately, for Brett Selby-Wood. Now, the margin at the front is 0.4 of a second, Hammer to Rayhana. We'll have a look at that battle again very shortly. McClymont we're watching here at the moment. Now we go back to Rayhana. There we go. On the run to turn 1.
I just have a feeling Jackson just kind of biding his time at the moment, waiting for maybe a mistake from Mikey.
Waiting to pounce on the champ. Yeah, exactly right. Time will tell. A long way to go here, a lot to play out. So for these guys, we're probably looking at 4 laps. This one and 3 more. You can see the time ticking at the top of your screen there. Once we reach 20 minutes, that's it. The clock expires. The checkered flag flies next time past the post. For these guys, that's going to be pretty damn close to on time. They head down the back straight. Look at Hammond trying to defend the youngster. Rayhana closing in under brakes up on the outside. Hammond knows he's there now. He got the tow, he got the slipstream, he got the draft. He got what he needed. Did Jackson Rayhana. But now it's about trying to find a way around Michael Hammond. And there's no one harder to pass in the club than Michael Hammond, Paul Nichols.
Yeah, absolutely. Mike is definitely one of the best drivers in the club. He can certainly be a little bit aggressive sometimes, but that's okay. You race to win. I think there's certain people that's their prerogative, and that's fine. But we have rules in the club, and Mike has been pinged a few times recently just for being a little bit over-aggressive. So far, so good.
I think he got pinged on Friday night, did he not?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Yeah. In the supercar race, that was one of our most talked about incidents of the night, actually. We were riding it and saw it live. So here's Jackson Rayhana. Just quickly, folks, next week, Interlagos, Brazil. A fantastic track for both GT3 cars and Intro to Wings cars. That will be a cracker of a race next Monday night. We'll bring it to you from 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time right here on SimShed Broadcasting. It'll be good to have your company for that. Of course, don't forget, Wednesday night is exclusive to Maverick Doer Drift, of course, Adam Lavis's account, so looking forward to that immensely. And here is Jackson Rayhana, still not close enough to have a crack. Mikey locks it up, though. Rayhana gets close. He's got a sniff now. But he's running out of time. He's only going to have 2 laps next time by the post.
I think Jackson's certainly trying to push Mikey and maybe pushing for a mistake, yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's right there, Paul. This is going to be a cracking last couple of laps. Let's stick with this now as they make their way through.
Also, JP, maybe check on Warwick and Jamie McKnight. They're very close as well.
They certainly are. So there's McKnight closing the gap to Warwick Sharp. Only a second between them now. Can McKnight do anything over the last 2 laps here? I'm not sure. Now, can we also, JP, I know you're in the director's chair there for us tonight and doing a bang-up job as always. Is there a chance that we could have a look at incident points at this point in time? Because I'm sure that some will have racked up more than others. But I'm interested to see if first and second are clean races at this point in time. No, Rayhana has a 1X, and that's interesting. But clean races for first, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 8th in the top 10. And that's about it. 14th as well, but the top 20, just really 7 cars with a clean race thus far, Paul.
Yeah, fantastic. You look at the 1Xs through the field there. So, I mean, the highest is a 5X. So, that's what the club wants. We want to have clean racing. So, really good effort from the guys tonight.
Indeed it is. Round they come again. Second last lap here. This is Hammond and Rayhana doing a great job. So, we'll get to lap 14, which is about where we got last week. Actually, no, the week before, I should say, with the Circuit de Catalunya Barcelona. We got about 24 last week because we're on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and that was even with 4 laps under safety car at the start. Round they come. Second last lap in the books. This will be the last lap of the motor race right now. Definitely the last lap. Hammond moving across to the inside. Rayhana following him. What can he do? That's the problem. Around the outside, Hammond clips the ripple strip, rides it in fact. Rayhana looks to go with him as they make their way through 2. 3, 4, we're under 5. Yeah, I count that as 2. iRacing only counts it as 1. And for some reason, the Wikipedia track map only counts it as 1 as well. But it's definitely 1 to the left and 1 to the right. So it has to be counted as 2. I'm sorry, but there needs to be a better standard there and a better... hang on. Rayhana's the outside. Look at this. He's left at the last minute. He lost the opportunity, though. He lunged, but unfortunately, Hammond answered the challenge. And Rayhana was hung out to dry. He's lost too much momentum there. I don't think he'll be able to claw it back. He looks down the inside, going into 9. Can't get it done. This is Michael Hammond's race to win.
Mike is predicting inside, obviously.
Round 10 on the run to 11 and then 12. The last 2 corners of the race here. This is Michael Hammond's to lose. Last turn, checkered flag. That's his biggest challenge of the year thus far in this series. Intro to Wings. Michael Hammond's got his 2nd race win of the season. Narrowly over Jackson Rayhana. Great racing. What a great fight.
Yeah.
We've got an incident involving Warwick Sharp that we're hearing about, so let's have a look at that for you right now. This is, of course, on the last lap as well. And it's going to cost him 3rd. Oh, no. Was there contact? I'm not sure. But Warwick Sharp has spun out of 3rd. He'll come home 4th. Adam Coughlin 5th. Jared Daly, then Dave Trevathan, Josh Millard, then Sean Rees, Josh Thomas. That's the top 10. I didn't find that battle between Hammond and Rayhana as exciting as it would be if it was Benny Snell and Michael Hammond, Paul Nichols, for the obvious reason. They're teammates. They're not going to go as hard as Benny Snell and Michael Hammond are, who are really racing for sheep stations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jackson and Mikey, I think they've got a good respect for each other. I think Jackson certainly learned a lot from Mikey over the time. So awesome, awesome that they've got together, and good to see that we've got a new guy, Jamie McKnight, one of the best V8 drivers in Australia. So good to have him on board.
Terrific to have him on board. 100%. Michael Hamilton Hammond. From Jackson, Rayhana, Jamie McKnight, Warwick Sharp, Adam Coghlan, the top 5 there. We'll get the full results out to you in just a moment. But just going back to my little nitpicky whinge and moan about corner numbers, there needs to be a moratorium there, and it needs to be that it's the same rule everywhere, and there's a standard procedure for numbering of corners, because everywhere you go, each continent does it differently. And therefore, some kinks don't get included, some kinks do. I mean, here in Australia, I'm pretty sure supercars find a way to incorporate as many corner numbers as they possibly can. And therefore, we should be following one standard across the board. Anyway, Michael Hamilton, Jackson Rayhana, and then Jamie McKnight, Warwick Sharp, Adam Coghlan, Jared Daly, Dave Trevathan, Josh Miller, then Sean Rees and Josh Thomas making up the top 10. Brad Clank, then Leith McClymont, Ash Phillip, Lee Williamson, Wayne Visser, then Pete Matson, Nigel Patton, Dave Johnson, then Justin Schwercourt and Daniel Ahern, the top 20. We look outside that to 27th. Luke Keamy, Brett Selbywood, Andrew Hayes, Nathan Cullen, Tim Harris, Declan Reinhardt and Jared Smith. So still only 2 different race winners so far in the Intro to Wings Season 3, 2020 campaign, and another great race there at the Okayama International Circuit. We'll wait and see if we have any drivers coming in to have a quick chat to us, but my suspicion is that Rayhana and Hamilton will be jumping straight into the other server for the GT Series race. And therefore, we might hear from Jamie McKnight or somebody else along the way here. If not, we'll wait and see. But it's a tight turnaround on a Monday night, Nico, because the likes of Hammond and Rayhana, they have to jump out of the open wheeler straight into the tin top and go qualifying again.
Absolutely. I mean, so a lot of the guys are probably going to jump straight in and probably don't have time to post-race interviews. We've got quite a few guys up there in the Discord racing channel, but Jackson's here. We'll grab Jackson down. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hello, Jackson.
G'day there. Good evening, boys.
Good evening to you, Jackson Rayhana. Nicely done, mate. You had a lunge. It just wasn't close enough to get the job done. And we've said it all night that Michael Hammond is probably the hardest bloke to pass in the club.
Yeah, absolutely. The last lap board snuck up on me a little bit quicker than I thought it would. So planning that one move for a few laps, and it all depended on him going defensive too. So that worked out. I was hoping the car would hold just a little bit better around the outside than it did, so I'd have the inside for the double F. But now Mikey stood his ground. His racecraft is very good, as you guys know, and he knew exactly where to place the car and managed to hold me off on that last lap, that lunge.
Were you mindful of the fact that you guys are our good mates and teammates, and therefore you didn't want to upset the boss, or was there part of you that was desperately trying to get one up on him?
Oh, we've got that trust in each other now. Like, we've raced wheel to wheel like that a few times, and we haven't hit each other yet. So, look, if the gap's going to be there, I'm going to take it. Obviously, you take a little bit more caution, knowing that you don't want to take your teammate off and ruin a 1-2 result. But
Correct.
If the gap's going to be there and Hammond leaves it wide open, I'm going to take it. And on to next week. Let's do that again. It was fun.
What was it that Ayrton Senna once said? If there's a gap that you see and you no longer go for it, you're no longer a racing car driver?
Yeah, that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
It's just the problem when it gets taken out of context.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're Hobbo.
That's exactly
as we saw last season, Hobbo can take probably a 3/4 of a car with gap and make it a car.
Yes,
so,
exactly right.
Don't remind me of that. When did I finish? I finished third, didn't I, Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Listen to the smug confidence coming out of Paul Nichols. How good's that? Hey, actually, speaking of smugness, have a look at the swagger in your profile picture here, Jackson. We extracted some urine out of it on Friday night because I'm just wondering, is that the Bumble or the Tinder profile pic?
Oh, why not both, eh?
Why not both? I saw it and I was like, he's not even his racing element. He's got his cool glasses on. He's cool look. He's definitely trying to pull some chicks. That was my thought. And thank you for verifying that. Well done, mate. We'll let you go so you can jump in the GT server because obviously you got qualifying there for another 10 or so minutes. Good luck with that, and we'll catch up with you post race.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's do a quali lap.
Yeah, good racing, mate. Well done.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks, mate. I'll see you guys after the GT race.
All right, buddy.
Indeed, you will. Nicely done, as per usual, mate. Now, Paul Nichols, as for you, the pro split's about to get underway here with 38 cars already in the server. You're about to jump into the Pro-Am split, which has got 32. The AM split has got 16. So, you add those numbers up, we've got over 80 competitors across the three splits tonight. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a shout out to the club and the committee and the organiser of these races. I think GT3s are very popular. Monday night's a pretty good night, I think. So, yeah, awesome turnout tonight. I'm going to jump in and do some practice laps and probably try and set a quality time. And I'll talk to you after the race, guys.
Mate. Yeah, look forward to your company then, mate, and maybe even bring in a race winner if you can.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Good man. All right, Pro-Am and Am coming up in terms of results at the end of the broadcast. We'll have the GT3 Pro Split here for you live on SimShed Broadcasting. We're going to take a quick break as we load out of one server into the other and get back to the Okayama International Circuit on the other side of this. Stick around. Monday Night Motorsports, SimShed Broadcasting of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Nice to have you with us wherever you're tuning in on a Monday night. This is SimShed Broadcasting's coverage of the 2020 iRacing season, Series 3 for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. This is the GT3 Series, the Pro Split coming your way from the Okayama International Circuit. Zach Caben with you, hopefully joined by Nico Pop a little bit later on. If not, well, you're stuck with me for 45 minutes, and after the weekend I've had, you'll be lucky if we all get through it. Hey, look at this circuit. Magnificent. 3.72 kilometers, of course. 11 turns. It's clockwise in direction. This is a 50-minute qualifying session here. The date and time set to today, the 5th of the 10th, 2020. A couple of hours earlier, actually, of course. Japan now 2 hours behind the east coast of Australia. Well, the intelligent parts thereof anyway, and it's set pretty much to 4 hours behind our actual time at the moment. It's 8:13 as we go to air here, 8:18, sorry, I should say, and it's 16:08 track time as we bring this to you, so have a look at that. That's not too bad. Pace car speed 64 kilometers an hour, pit lane speed 60 kilometers an hour. A partly cloudy day, 27 degrees. The track temp 30 degrees, so that's a lot closer. Smaller margin there than what we had in the differentials for the Intro to Wings race a short while ago. Incidents every 15x. Well, 15x will be your first penalty, and then every 5 thereafter. One fast repair limit. It is a 45-minute race. It is a 40 car field at this stage logging into the server, and as things stand in this championship, well, it's Dennis Gaderick. 2 wins from 2 starts and a clean race last week as well. He's 18 points clear of Emmerich Candola, so 68 plays 50. 40 for Paul Mansell, John Merritt on 38, 38 also for Glenn Postlethwaite, Brenton Hobson on 35, Guy Leach on 32. So too Lee Siddles, 26 for Trent Lavis and 25 for Yanni Sortoriou. That's the running order at this point in time. 5 minutes and 50 seconds left in the qualifying session here. We hope you're enjoying our coverage. Emmerich Candola. We'll keep an eye on him as he comes round onto the main straight now. The aerial shot shows and tells the story for you, courtesy of Oculair. Across the line goes Emmerich Candola. Can he clock a faster time than what he's already achieved? The answer is no. Batman, however, Dennis Gaderick is the leader here. 1:28.163, his fastest time thus far. Actually, interesting to note, JP mentioned it earlier, and Paul Nichols as well. 1:26 was the pace for the Pro Mazdas. So these cars are slightly slower. So keep your ears peeled on that as the night goes on. Should still see about 30 laps of racing here, including the pit stop. And that's pending the intervention of the safety car at any point. We've got Chris Stark and the team in race control, I do believe, tonight. Michael Porter in there as well. So good luck to those two. Jamie Welch has just connected, so we now have a field of 41 in the server here. Ben Snell, Warwick Sharp and Jamie Welch yet to settle up in this qualifying session. They're running out of time to do that. 4.5 minutes to go. Dennis Gaderick, Emmerich Candola, then Trent Lavis, John Merritt, Yanni Sortoriou, Paul Rogers, Glenn Postlethwaite, Michael Cracknell, Paul Mansell, Maverick Benson making up the top 10. Brenton Hobson, Chris Whitaker sitting down 19th and 20th respectively. Are you kidding me? You wouldn't expect that from them. Michael Hammer Time Hammond not in the server at this point in time. I believe he's actually, I'm just trying to remember, I think he's gone and played Big Fish Small Pond with the Pro-Ams in this series. I'll double check that at the end of the broadcast. 46 minutes 10 gone. Hope you had the opportunity to tune into West Bromwell Radio over the weekend, ladies and gentlemen. The Queensland Karting Championships was great fun to have you with us. We had, much like our sim racing broadcasts, we had people tuning in South Australia and Tasmania across the course of the weekend. It was a privilege to bring it to you. 22 hours on air there, plus the 3.5 here on Friday night. Another 2.5 hours tonight. It's been a very long weekend. and it's actually been a longer weekend here in Queensland than what it has been in 5 states around the country. But I'll digress to that a little bit later on in the evening. Nico Pop will hopefully join us at some point during this race. We'll wait and see. If not, at least I'll be here for the duration. And I'll just say to the director now, if it sounds like I'm falling asleep at any point in time, just play some really loud music that I can hear at my end and not anyone else. See how we go. 47 minutes and 13 seconds. I don't think we'll have any reason to be falling asleep here tonight, folks. The GT Series racing so far this season has been fascinating. Dennis Gaderick has dominated the opening 2 rounds on European soil, the circuit in Barcelona, Catalonia, and also the Brands Hatch circuit. Now we're here in Asia. We go to South America next week. Of course, reminding you of the schedule across the Monday nights between now and November 23. We will go to Circuit Park Zandvoort on October 19, then to Alton Park. Monza will follow. That's the first Monday of November. Then we go to Donington Park on November 9, Sonoma Raceway on November 16, and then Mount Panorama Bathurst, of course, on November 23, and we're looking forward to that immensely. Down the back straight they come. There's a flotilla of cars there, all trying to find a clean piece of real estate, which around here, as I said, it's only 3.72 kilometres. Not going to be easy when there's a field of 40 of them. 80 seconds left in this qualifying session now. We wish everyone the very best of luck tonight. No replays to show you at this point in time. Everyone's behaving themselves in this qualifying session, which is really good to see. Don't forget the Gentleman Sim Racing Club here, courtesy of Simple Sim Computers, Ocular, Flash Graphics, Racecraft, LJ Hooker, Gaindar, and Central Coast Subaru. Huge thanks to all of those supporters and sponsors for their ongoing involvement and contribution to the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. We are inside the last minute of qualifying now. We've got Stone Cold Matt Austin pulled up on the side of the circuit as well. But he's ejected and got back into the pit lane. Warwick Sharp, I think it was, might have been pulling up to the side of the circuit there at turn 1. We're riding with Emmerich Candola here. And he's sitting second at the moment, still unable to find a way by Dennis Gaderick. Gaderick at 128.163. 128.4 for Emmerich Candola, 128.5 for Trent Lavis. So too John Merritt and Yanni Sorterio. In fact, have a look at that. 0.04 of a second separates Lavis, Merritt and Sorterio. And then you've got Glenn Postlethwaite in there as well. So all of those cars, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a 128.5. Rogers, Cracknell, Turner, Mansell make up the top 10. Hobson down there in 19th, buried at the moment. Chris Whitaker 21st. Neither of them will be happy with that. Wait and see how they move their way forward. Checkered flag flying, this session at an end. So we'll then be able to get stuck into the racing here. Here's Jackson Rayhana into the last corner now, following the youngster around to see if he can launch himself out of 29th position with a quick time here. Rayhana across the line. And he moves up to 28th. So you got Rayhana, you got Whitaker, you got Hobson coming through from deep in the pack. That's going to be exciting. Candola, no improvement there. Mansell on a flyer as well. We'll wait and see if he'll get across the line here. No improvement. Peter Hunter, however, has jumped up into 11th. So what about that? Reminding you folks, here's Parry Anastakis, sitting 33rd right now. Round onto the main straight, the Penrite entry. And can he move up from 33rd? No, he cannot. No, he cannot. Rightio. So, we've got our grid set. we've got the session complete. We've got a 45-minute race about to unfold here. There are the track conditions for you. I just had to lubricate the vocal cords before we get rocking and rolling again. 3.72 Ks. Our first and only stop in Asia for this Gentleman Sim Racing Club series. Of course, we've already had 2 stops in Japan for the Porsche GT3 Cup series, the Elite Cup, and also, of course, the GT4 and TCR Hump Day Pilot series as well. Cars lining up here. Let's have a look at the grid at this point in time. It is a massive grid, and there's a lot to run through. Let's race through it as quickly as we can. 42 on the grid here. I believe we've only got 41 starters because we've got Chris Stark in race control. Dennis Gaderick, Emmerich Candola, the front row. Trent Lavis and John Merritt, the second row. Yanni Sorteria and Glenn Postlethwaite, the third row. Then Paul Rogers and Michael Cracknell from row number 4. Row number 5 is where you'll find Luke Turner and Paul Mansell. Row 6 is Peter Hunter and also Maverick Benson. Let's keep going through. Liam Reston. Glenn Cedar Riddell from row 7, Jack Allison and Guy Leach from row 8, Michael Angus and Ross Ponding from row 9. Then we go back to Brenton Hobson and Justin Schwerkott, the 10th row there for you. Chris Whitaker and Lee Siddles from row 11. Row 12 is Daniel Birchnell and Brendan Whitaker. Row 13, Adam Lavis and Jamie Welch. Row 14 is Dan Siciliano and Richard Mitchum buried in the order. And hello to him over there in Singapore, of course. Row 15 is Jackson Rayhana. And also Paul Wood. Watch those two charging through. Then Stone Cold Matty Austin on the outside of the 16th row. The inside is Andrew Goldman in 31st. 33rd is Parry Anastakis. 34th is Daniel Green. Then you go back to Rick Sibra and Russ Green on the 18th row rather. On the 19th row, it's James M.D. Wood and Josh Forer. The 20th row is Jared Daly and Warwick Sharp. The 21st row is where you'll find Ben Snell. What a lineup this is. What a grid. This round of the GT3 Cup Pro Series. Oh, take a breath and hold on, folks. This is about to get very interesting because we're heading towards the end of the day in Japan. Cloudy conditions, lights ablaze. The ocular aerial shot shows and tells the story for you as the safety car pulls off. Just have a look at that field. Isn't it something special? And now, Benny Snell's going to be starting from pit lane because he got in too late to qualify. And that's, he has no excuse because he knows it's a half hour earlier start for South Australia. And that's every week. So unfortunately, he's going to be burning from the stern, but from the pit exit. So we wait to see how far Snelly can get through. In the meantime, Dennis Gaderick at the front of the field. Emmerich Candola alongside him. What you've seen from Gaderick so far this year has been completely and utterly brilliant. Let's see if he can go for 3 on the trot. We're racing at the Okayama International Circuit in Japan. Round 3 is underway. Gaderick got the jump. Candola jumped in behind. Stuck the nose up on the inside but couldn't find a way through into turn 1. That's a clean start from everybody as they make their way through. For the first time. Lap 1, we expect 30 to 31 laps in this race tonight. What a clean start. What a good start from Dennis Gaderick. Further back in the pack. Have a look at this. Yanni Sorderillo forcing the issue there. But getting muscled out at the same time. They head down the back straight. Gaderick, then Candola. Then we go back to 3rd place. That's at the moment being held by, oh, have a look at this, muscling out on the inside. Yanni Sorderillo getting hung out to dry there. Oh, trouble. The 10's gone round. That's Paul Rogers. Yanni's been muscled out of that. There's 2 or 3 cars involved. That's a messy situation, but they managed to clean it up. Glenn Postlethwaite and Luke Turner, the bigger winners in all of that. Paul Mansell as well. Have a look at this on replay. Yanni Sorderillo. you know what? I think he started all on his own. We didn't see any contact there until on the opposite end of the incident. Yanni spun back in whilst having no control of the car. Sorry, I'll retract that. It's Rogers that spun back in with no control of the car. That clipped Yanni, and Yanni's gone for a spin. The overhead car, the green there on the overhead shot, I'm not sure who that is, but he got muscled out, hung out to dry and all of that. Had nowhere to go. So Gaderick leads from Candola. Lavis, Merritt and Postlethwaite. They're the top 5. Turner, Mansell, Benson, Leach and Hunter make up the top 10. 42 minutes and 53 seconds to go. The Suns now come out of the Okayama International Circuit. On board with Emmerich Candola, closing right up onto the back of Dennis Gaderick. So, week 1 pole went to Glenn Postlethwaite. Week 2 pole went to Dennis. Week 3 pole went to Dennis. And Dennis is on track for 3 race wins from 3 starts. Unless Candola can spring a surprise, cause the upset here. So already a little bit of carnage down towards the back. Daniel Birchnell's just got caught up in some nonsense there, but we can tell you that we've still got a full field at this point in time, except Brenton Hobson did not take the start. Now that's interesting. Brenton Hobson did not take the start. That is disappointing to have one of the big guns not in this field. We'll have a look and see how well Rayhana and Whitaker and the like can progress through the field in his absence. Just on Jackson Rayhana, 29th up to 17th already for Jackson Rayhana. That is an awesome start from the youngster as we watch Candola on the back straight there on the tail of Gaderick. Now we go back to Rayhana. Rayhana's already got by. Just having a look here on our leaderboard. Rayhana's already got by Adam Lavis. Richard Mitchum's in there as well. This is going to be an awesome race for Jackson Rayhana with the first 2 laps already gone. But the problem is, because of that nonsense that happened mid-pack on the opening lap, he's already lost too much time to the pointy end of the field. And that's going to be an ongoing story tonight. Uh-oh, trouble. We've got Dan Siciliano round the wrong way as well. And we've got another one round the wrong way just up at the other end of our shot. So this is what happened. This is Liam Reston. He's cut the grass and therefore he's a passenger in all of that. Not much you can do there. Dennis Gaderick, Emmerich Candola, then Trent Lavis, then John Merritt, then Glenn Postlethwaite. The leaders at the front of the field. We start lap number 4. Glenn Postlethwaite sitting there in 5th place. Luke Turner, Paul Mansell, Maverick Benson, then Guy Leach and Peter Hunter, the top 10. We go back to Michael Angus, Chris Whitaker. So he's moved from 21st to 12th. Rayhana from 29th to 16th. Richard Mitchum, the next target for him. We have, of course, accounted for Liam Reston, who had that spin earlier. So a little over 5 minutes into this race. Hope you're enjoying Monday Night Motorsport for the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club on SimShed Broadcasting. As you can see, a little SSB banner there in our lap totem at the top of the screen. That's who we're here for. Around they come again. Dennis Gaderick, Emmerich Candola, Trent Lavis, John Merritt and Glenn Postlethwaite making up the top 5. Here's Dennis Gaderick. Let's go for an onboard lap with Gaderick now. To turn 1. Let's crank up the volume and have a listen to the Audi hard at work. Beautiful sounds, beautiful images from the Audi there. Round onto the back straight here at the Okinawa National Circuit. This is still a circuit that I'd like to see Formula One come back to. I know we're not allowed to because it's not an FIA Grade 1 anymore, but by gee, if ever you had to replace Suzuka, you'd come back here. Such a great little racetrack. Oh no, Candolla's gone round. Emmerich Candolla, you just saw him begin to slide at the top of your screen there behind Dennis Gaderick. Candolla has gone round. Look at this again. Game-changing moment in this race because we all know what that means. It means A, Trent Lavis goes into second and he did it himself, Candolla. We knew that. Have a look at that. Into the gravel trap he goes. Trent Lavis goes to second. John Merritt to third. Glenn Postlethwaite to fourth. And therefore, Emmerich Candolla has lost the chance to fight Dennis Gaderick again. And on this occasion, he has no one to blame but himself. And that's bad news for the rest of the pack as well, because it just means if Dennis can continue on with this, he's just going to extend that championship lead at the pointy end of the field. It was 18 points coming in tonight. It'll be in excess of 20. Going into the next round of the championship at the Interlagos circuit in Brazil. If he continues this up, my goodness gracious me. 37 minutes to go on the race. Candolla now buried on the precipice of being knocked out of the top 10. Trent Lavis is second under all sorts of pressure from John Merritt. Now down the back straight. Glenn Postlethwaite's not too far away either. And he's far enough away to be of no concern to Merritt just yet. Round they come again. The run down to turn 9. Well, such drama here on lap 6. Emmerich Candolla spinning out of contention. And this is the thing. So, I don't have anyone to back and forward with tonight. I've got, obviously, Paul Nichols in the Pro-Am server and Nick's MIA. So I'll just bounce around some ideas amongst myself here, and if it makes sense, then great. The fact of the matter is that Emmerich, having lost all that time, you can't afford to do that when you've got blokes like Gaderick and Lavis and Postlethwaite around you. Unless, not even a safety car would help him at this point in time. You've still got the pit sequence to get through as well, so there's all sorts of reasons why I'm calling it very early that Gaderick is out of contention. And it's not with any disrespect whatsoever, but this has been a very clean race thus far, to the point where it'd take a lot to get a safety car out there, I would say. 35 minutes to go. We're watching the battle for 15th now. Already a couple of cars in pit lane. Have a look at that up on the inside. Good move there. Richard Mitchum getting through. Sorry. No, my apologies. Liam Reston getting through. So, we'll keep our eyes out on Richard Mitchum, because he's in behind Ross Ponting there at the moment. I was a couple of cars ahead of myself. But that was for 18th, 17th, maybe 16th position for Liam Reston there. They make their way around onto the main straight one more time. So Dennis Gaderick is clear by 3.5 seconds at the moment over Trent Lavis, who has only a second back to John Merritt, who has 0.7 of a second back to Glenn Postlethwaite. Then Paul Mansell. But you're currently watching Chris Whitaker under tremendous pressure from Lee Siddles, Ross Ponting, then Richard Mitchum. In position 15, Jackson Rayhana is up to 16th already in this race, but he is 2.4 seconds behind Richard Mitchum, and he's under tremendous pressure from Liam Reston right now. So what can Reston do here? Will he find a way by Rayhana, or will Rayhana work with him to try and find a way down? to latch onto the back of this upcoming fight ahead of them here. Ross Ponting following Lee Siddles and Chris Whitaker through. Chris Whitaker getting a tremendous hurry up from Lee Siddles at the moment. There's Rayhana. 16th in the car race. Reston all over him like a rag doll at this point in time. So where is the first legitimate overtaking opportunity for Reston? You'd say turn 1, if not turn 5 at the end of the back straight. He just doesn't appear to be close enough at this time. Another lap in the books. That is the end of lap 7 for those guys. We're on lap 8. It'll be lap 8 of about 30, as I said earlier. Hunter, Candola, Angus, Whitaker, Ponting and Mitchum. We're following their progress at the moment, specifically the latter 4. Whitaker, then Siddles, Ponting and Mitchum. Watch Siddles all the way over the back of Chris Whitaker right now, down towards turn 5. To the outside goes Siddles. Whitaker forces the issue and Siddles has run it wide. Oh, no, he's gone! He's gone! Siddles has spun out into the wall. Would you believe that? Applying the blowtorch to Chris Whitaker here. And watch this. Clip the curb, too much of it, bang! And the Armco hurts, but the concrete hurts even more, and he got the concrete. What about that? More trouble. More trouble for Lee Siddles. He's spun back. He's back in 13th now in all of that. Be interesting to see these drivers begin their pit stops. Who's got damage, who doesn't, who needs a fast repair, who doesn't. At the moment, Siddles is going to try and press on because he obviously can't afford to come in and fuel up to the checkered flag just yet, and that's what he wants to do. You don't want to stop any more times than you have to. Oh, spinner there as well. That's on turn 4. Rayhana's got through on that. Ross Ponting facing backwards. Oh, it is all happening here all of a sudden. All happening here. 30 minutes and 20 seconds left in this race. What's going to happen in the closing stages? That's the great unknown. We'll have a bit more of an idea once we get through the sequence of pit stops, which will be coming up in this next bracket of the race. 15 minutes down, 30 to go. What about that? Terrific stuff. That's John Merritt sitting there in third at the moment. He's under pressure from Glenn Postlethwaite. They've got a long gap then back to Luke Turner. So essentially it's Gaderick, Glavis, Merritt, Postlethwaite, the rest. Even then Gaderick's cleared out. 3 seconds clear of Trent Lavis. Lavis has gone up 1 spot, the biggest mover in the field so far. Well, Richard Mitchum up 15 spots. Jackson Rayhana, I'm just having a look to see, up 15 as well. 16 up for Parianastakis. Russ Green 15 up as well. 16 up for Ben Snell, up into 25th. That was from the rear of the grid and from pit lane. So they're the biggest movers of the night thus far. Hope you're enjoying our live and exclusive coverage. Monday Night Motorsport Gentlemen Sim Racing Club all around Australia, all around the world, Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. SimShed Broadcasting and also the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Incorporated broadcast page. We're here with thanks to Central Coast Subaru, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Racecraft, Flash Graphics, Ocular and Simple Sim Computers. And also Stone Cold Racing, of course, for their support of the Friday night action as well. And also your replays that you're seeing here tonight as well. Now, have a look at Possiblade all over the back of John Merritt now. On the run out of turn 4. Down to 5. Remembering, folks, Watkins Glen is the venue Wednesday night. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve this Friday night. So we're doing North America. We're doing America, North America and South America all the next week. Looking forward to it immensely. So we hope you'll join us for all of that in the meantime. Keep an eye out on this. Glenn Postlethwaite sitting there in position number 4 at the moment, all over the back of Merritt like a rash. Just unable to try and find a way through. He'll be getting frustrated, I would imagine, as they make their way around one more time. Oh, sideways. Gee. Nothing left in that. Now, our mate Paul Nichols has dropped back into the commentary box, but he's on mute at the moment, so I'm not sure what's happened to that second server, but if Nico's in here this early, it can't be good. I would assume he's had an incident and hung up and gone to get a wine, but we'll find out from him very shortly. In the meantime, have a look at Reston. Reston down the inside. That was a nice move. Cleanly done. What about that from Liam Reston on Richard Mitchum? The next target is Emmerich Candola. Sorry, Chris Whitaker and then Emmerich Candola, I should say. So Whitaker will be under pressure in just a moment from Liam Reston. Also fighting back from an incident earlier in the race. It's been a night for them. 26 minutes to go. There's the ocular aerial shot of Emmerich Candola sitting there in 10th at the moment. He's under pressure. Actually, he's not under pressure, I should say. He's already got past Michael Angus. So Candola moves up to 10th. Displaces Angus. They make their way around again. 25 and a half minutes to go. This is Richard Mitchum. Then Liam Reston. Now Reston applying it to Chris Whitaker right on his tail here, giving him the hurry up on the run to 1. We'll keep an eye on this as the race goes on. Chris Whitaker doing a nice job here to fend off the hard charging Reston. Reston down the inside, couldn't get through. He had a look, tucked back in. Magnificent fight here at the front of the field. Down the back straight they go. And what an incredible fight this is turning out to be as Reston charges his way back through. Under brakes on the inside of Whitaker at 5. Reston goes through. Reston moves up to 12th. That's very nicely done. We've had a nasty shunt here just before that overtake took place. That incident is on your screens now. This is Peter Hunter coming unstuck. And looping it, and there was another car in front of him that went straight into the wall as well. Just have a look at Hunter's re-entry to the circuit. Oh. It was only a split second between being ahead of Whitaker and Reston and being behind them. It was a whisker away from being a 3-car wreck. 23 minutes, 40 seconds left in the race. That's resting in 11th now. Dennis Gaderick leads Trent Lavis, margin 2.5. Ben John Merritt, Glenn Postlethwaite. I'll tell you what, Lavis has had a quiet race. He's been left to his own devices there. Round 3 of the GT3 series on a Monday night. Round 4, of course, coming up next week into Lagos, Brazil. Looking forward to it immensely. You'll see it here on SimShed Broadcasting. Trent Lavis, the fastest man on circuit at the moment. 1:28.681. 1:28.681 for Trent Lavis. The fastest lap of the race, however, belongs to Dennis Gaderick at 1:28.47. But Lavis is the fastest man at the moment. So Gaderick's doing enough to hold on to the lead, but Lavis is trying to go with him. 22.25. So we are literally just at halfway now. Therefore, pit stops cannot be too far away. Keep an eye out for them very shortly. So we've got Postlethwaite on the tail of Merritt now. This is the main battle on circuit. There are other battles out there, folks. I'm very well aware of that, but this is for the outright last spot on the podium. Have a look at Postlethwaite trying to set it up on Merritt. He still can't find a way by. He's having a nightmare time of it out there. Is Glenn Postlethwaite here at the moment. So, the limited overtaking opportunities around here are making it hard for Glenn Postlethwaite to find a way through. Gaderick leads Lavis, Merritt, and then Postlethwaite. This is the battle we're watching, Merritt and Postlethwaite. They've got a long gap back to Paul Mansell now. Forget about Mansell, he'll be 5th if he's lucky. Turn 1 again. Not much between Mansell and Maverick Benson either. Guy Leach right there with him. So there's a 3-car fight for 5th at the moment, which we'll bring you shortly. But let's focus on Merritt and Postlethwaite right now. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast around Australia. Let us know if you are tuning in. I apologise. I haven't been following the comments at this particular time. I've been, as I'm the solo commentator guy here at the moment, I'm basically trying to keep abreast of all the action on our screens here. Tahi Rahani, you are absolutely right. The voice did cop a fair beating at the Queensland Karting Championships, and worse still, I forgot to take the schooner of honey with me yesterday to have a gargle as we went, but that'll be a job for tomorrow, and be back on deck on Wednesday night. It's more so, I think, the exhaustion, because we were in the sun. We had 22 hours on air there all weekend, so a little bit red and a little bit worn out on the vocal cord department this evening. But it was just really nice to be back trackside, doing what essentially I'm up here in this state to do, and that's commentate. Again, a lot of people move to Queensland for a lifestyle choice. I'd actually rather be stuck in the 21st century, not the 20th or the 19th. So I'm literally here for work at this point in time. Guy Leach just telling us what he really thinks. Glenn Cedar Riddell in there in second position, 18th position at the moment. Second car in this group that we're following at the moment. So he's following Jamie Walsh around onto the main straight one more time. 19 minutes left in the race. Still no pit stops. They've got to be coming shortly. Really clean race in the greater scheme of things. I'll be perfectly honest. Just having a look at retirements here. before we go any further, there have been a couple. So, Rick Sibra's gone, Josh Fora's gone, Dan Siciliano is gone. And unfortunately here, oh, have a look at this. That's Riddell on the inside. Oh, massive carnage there. That's Riddell into the side of Jamie Welch. They redress it on circuit. No harm, no foul. But by G, Glenn Cito Riddell. He'll be disappointed he wasn't able to pull that move off. In the meantime, we got pit stops unfolding. We got John Merritt in the lane. We got Paul Mansell in the lane as well. Here's a replay. Down on the inside. Definitely had the opportunity, but maybe just wasn't spotted by Jamie Welch there. And Welch didn't give him enough room. Well, you be the judge of that one, folks, whether he should have been a little bit more cautious or whether he had the line and he had the right. I'm not going to get into those arguments. I'll let race control sort that one out. But given it was redressed on circuit, I dare say they'll let it slide. We are with Dennis Gaderick at the moment. I know we've... I'll just talk to JP here while I'm on mic. Mate, I know we've got to go to the other totem to do it, but if we can have a look at incident points at this particular time, that might make for interesting reading. Dennis Gaderick, Trent Lavis, Glenn Postlethwaite, Maverick Benson, and Guy Leach, the top five here. Pit stop starting to unfold. There's the totem for you. We are circulating lap 19. We've passed the 28-minute mark. 17 minutes to go. Gaderick in the lane. There's the lack of incident points so far. The top four, no incidents. So to seventh, which is, of course, Michael Angus. Then you go back to Mitchum and Merritt in 10th with 0x alongside them. Then we go back to Mansell with no X. So to 18th, 19th and 20th as well. Paul Nichols, I mentioned it about 10 minutes ago when I saw your name pop up in our commentary box. I'm assuming things didn't go all that well in the Pro-Am split for you.
Correct. Yeah, not too well. One of those nights you just kind of like, I'll just jump out and do comms. So one of those nights. It's all good fun. I actually accidentally took someone out, redressed it on track. Not the perfect race for me.
Oh, have a look at this. In the pit lane, Glenn Postlethwaite has jumped Trent Lavis. And that will put Postlethwaite into second in the car race. A lot of pit stops unfolding on this particular lap, lap 19, lap 20. And therefore, Glenn Postlethwaite is now second in the car race. This is the thing, Paul Nichols. A couple of weeks ago, we watched the opening race of the season in the Porsche GT3s in Japan. That was where Glenn Postlethwaite lost the race to Jeff Connell. He then later had a spin going into turn one and lost it even further, but pit stops, so many times we see them being a decisive factor in these car races.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those pit entries and pit exits are so important. You can gain half a second, you can gain a second, you can lose 2 seconds going in pit stop. So really critical, and it's really interesting to see the play out from here.
Well, this is exactly right. So now we've got the battle for 6th position on the car race, in the car race, I should say. That's, of course, I believe Maverick Benson's caught up in all of that. Yes, he is. So he's showing as 4th on the server, but that's 6th now on corrected order. I should have the live timing screen up, but I was actually halfway through, and let me get back to this before we go any further. I was halfway through. The only reason I had to come across to the iRacing screen in the first place was to have a look at the retirements. So, Jared Daly out, Jack Allisey out, Lee Siddles, he had an internet dropout. Then Dan Siciliano, Josh Fora, Rick Sibra, then Jamie Welch. Manually disconnected and then reconnected, so maybe he had a second thought about it, I'm not sure. Now, Peter Hunter having a spin as well. So it's fair to say it's been very interesting tonight, Paul Nichols, but we've gone safety car free thus far.
Yeah, look, I was in the Pro-Am split, so, who's that spinning?
That was Peter Hunter. That's our replay.
Yeah, so in the Pro-Am split, I haven't watched the whole race for the Pro split, but the Pro-Am split was really clean. First 5 laps were fantastic.
Indeed, they were. and look forward to getting the results of that off you a little bit later on. 13 and a half minutes left in this run, however. What a performance it's been from Dennis Gaderick, maintaining his advantage to the tune of about 6 seconds over Glenn Postlewaite. There's something about Gaderick. I mean, the Ferrari, he got that to work and hum beautifully for him, but he just looks right at home in the Audi now.
Yeah, really interesting actually to see that he's jumped from the Ferrari to the Audi. So, look, I think they're very similar cars, both mid-engine cars. So, it's good to change it up. I think interested to see how it goes for the whole season.
Indeed, 13 minutes to go here. Our post-race show will follow. It's just on 9 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, of course. If you're just joining us, good to have your company. And for the benefit of the broadcast, everything from this point will be referred to in Eastern Daylight Time to send the message to Queensland. So stick around for that. Good luck to those of you in the West. I know a couple of people have been forced out of certain races because of the extra hour time difference there. And really, I get that daylight saving is a divisive issue, but seriously, if it's good enough for 5 states, it should be good enough for 8. And that's, and territories as well. But that's just my feeling on it. I reckon it's one of those issues that should be a national government thing, not a state government thing, because the state government here yesterday, Paul Nichols, said, we're not going to change our viewpoint on it. We're not going to change, we're not going to make it an issue. We're not going to change our stance. In other words, reiterating that the backbone is seriously injured within the Queensland Parliament and the testicular fortitude as well. Have a look at this on screen, however. Liam Reston, he's under pressure there at the moment from Michael Angus, of course. So they're making their way over towards turn 9. 11:35 left on the clock here. Closing stages, Monday Night Motorsport, Gentlemen Sim Racing Club's Season 3. The first Monday of what will be a very slow 26 weeks in the Sunshine State. But we're looking forward to bringing you as much car racing as possible from the virtual world, what has been the big saviour as far as sanity and motorsport are concerned, and a combined factor in 2020. Nico, are you starting to work on a plan to try and keep people on board from the real world when you get back to a COVID-free world and they get back to doing the real thing and sim racing kind of gets brushed aside?
Well, I seriously don't think sim racing will get brushed aside because we run weeknights, so running night races. So most of the time, obviously, real-world racing is during the day. So hopefully we can maintain some of these fantastic drivers that jump in and enjoy the competition. I think that's what it's all about is competition. And look at the quality of the field in that pro split. Amazing quality. Spinner.
Whoa! Guy Leach in the wall! Massive moment there. He's just caught too much grass on the exit of turn 8. Watch it again.
It's so easy to do.
Caught the curb, he didn't catch the grass, he actually caught the gravel there and then the grass. Bang! So he caught the gravel on the exit of 7, the grass on the exit of 8, and then into the wall. Job done.
Yeah, it reminds me of my night. This track particularly, if you put a foot wrong, you put it on the grass, you
pay the price.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got to be so minimally perfect. It's one of those tracks you've got to be right on song all night. Make one mistake, your race is over.
Jackson Rayhana in the Kiwi livery there, being harangued and harassed by Paul Wood at the moment. So it's 14th and 15th on your screens here. 14th ahead, 13th behind. They are also trying to chase down Richard Mitchum and Chris Whitaker, who are just ahead there. You can see them. It's a 4-way fight for 12th place. So 9 minutes to go here. And it's a circuit that rewards consistency where there's no margin for error, despite the fact that it's got grass, it's got gravel, it's got tyre walls. It's a little bit more friendly than a street circuit, Nico. It still bites hard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, iRacing, I think the off tracks here, like if you put your wheel on the grass or the dirt, it's certainly going to penalise you. So consistent driving. You see the guys at the front there; they're just consistent. They put the lap times in. It's a fantastic circuit. Love it, Okayama. Great circuit. Great for these cars particularly. I think you've seen that tonight.
Indeed, we have. We make our way through one more time. On the run down towards turn 5, or 4 I should say, then the run down to 5. As I said, it should have been 4 already, but anyway. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Gaderick, Postlethwaite, Lavis, then Merritt and Mansell. And I'll tell you what, ever since the pit stop, Postlethwaite hasn't looked like being caught by Lavis. He's 3 seconds behind almost is Trent. Right on board with Dennis Gaderick, who's 6.5 rather, seconds ahead of Glenn Postlethwaite. Lavis there third, then Merritt and Mansell. And this has been a scintillatingly dominant performance from Dennis Gaderick. He's racking up numbers here, Paul, that are very similar to what our old mate Glenn Postlethwaite racks up on a Friday night at the Stock Car Series. I'm thinking more Season 1 than anything else because he hasn't raced yet in Season 3.
Yeah, I'm just watching in the onboards there. He's hitting every apex perfectly. That you need to do that. If you're going to be fast, hit the apexes, power out. He's doing a fantastic job.
It's just important to be smooth rather than fast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because smooth is fast. And that's the thing. Hitting your apexes is a big part in all of that. 7 minutes to go. 38 minutes down, 7 minutes to go. So we're looking at another 5 laps here. So we'll get to 30, which, well played, Paul Nichols. That was the number you said. We might actually, I'm just having a look at the clock.
Over 31? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll tick over to 31, actually. Yeah. Sorry, my maths is a little bit off tonight. It's been a big weekend. But yeah, 6:40. So what are we looking at? We're looking at just under a minute and a half a lap. Yeah, we'll definitely get 5 in. So that's going to be good fun. We'll go to 31. But still, the maths is pretty much on the money from you, Nico, which is good work. Gaderick, then Postlethwaite. Have a look at the margin fluctuating there at the top of your screen, 6.4 seconds. Then Lavis, then Merritt. And then you go back to the P5, number 5 in Mansell. And then, of course, Benson is 6th. The totem will scroll across the top of your screen there, tell you the margins, the intervals between cars. And that's their interval that's important to note, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, trouble there. One of the boomers has gone round. And that was Birchnell having a spin.
We just
down the order.
Talk about the whole field. We'll just talk about where everyone is.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a look at this. So that was Daniel Birchnell. Here's the spin. Again, turn 9 claims another one. Or turn 8, actually, rather. But it has been a trouble point tonight. So many incidents have happened at turn 7 or turn 8, Paul Nichols. The field as it is, there's the scroll telling you what's going on. As I said, the intervals were running across the top of your screen. Now, that was their interval from them to first place, not them to the car in front, of course. So here we go. Biggest mover of the night. Rayhana and also Wood up 16 positions. Not too quite sure what's happened to Chris Whitaker there, but he's dropped down to 18th. Oh, sorry, no, rather, my apologies. That's his brother, Brendan. Chris is actually there in 12th, but he's only gained 9 places tonight. So the big movers are Rayhana and Wood, and Whitaker with 9 is also the third biggest mover inside that top 10 there. 16 positions each for Rayhana, Wood, and Anastakis. 13 for Mitchum, 9 for Whitaker. They're the big movers so far tonight. Incident points, a lot of 0 incidents in this race, which is really good to see. It's not often we get so many clean sheets in the top 20 there, Paul Nichols, but have a look at that. There are 11 clean sheets in the top 20 alone. That's Paul Mansell on your screen there.
I probably had 10 incident points before the third lap, but one of those nights.
Yeah,
fantastic for the top 20. Fantastic. Look at those incident points. Brilliant job from all of them. So fantastic.
Indeed. Across the start-finish line they go. Now to turn 1. So 3 laps to go. We're on the run home. Dennis Gaderick's done a nice job here. Glenn Postlethwaite second. Ben Lavis. Gaderick's going to be the first driver to win 3 on the trot in a while.
Interesting to see
GP3 series.
the top speed for Gaderick is 256 versus 235 for Posse.
Yeah, the Audi's just got a nice. I mean, the Audi's just got a nice little kick tonight, hasn't it? I mean, that's incredible.
That's huge. That's like, what's that, 20 Ks?
Yeah, and that's a massive point of difference around here.
Absolutely, yeah. So maybe
Gaderick. Sorry, Emmerich Candola, rather. I was looking at the timing screen, so I just heard Gaderick in my ear, and I thought, hang on, what's going on here? That was Emmerich Candola making his way up into 6th position on the inside. And Benson, who wants to force the issue in the way, and turns Candola around! Oh, what about that? I mean, seriously. We've talked all night, Paul Nichols, in both the Intro to Wings race and this one, how difficult overtaking opportunities are around here. You need to be more careful than that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm not sure if it was addressed on track. We'll watch the replay, but I think they tried to address it on track. But yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, I did exactly the same thing tonight. Tried to put it up the inside and brake too late, and took someone out and redressed it on track. Waited for probably 10 seconds to make sure that they were past me. One of those things that it happens.
Indeed, it does. What a night this has been. That was probably the most interesting moment in terms of incidents we've seen tonight. So, 1:54 left on the clock. Flash Graphics tuning in, saying good racing tonight. Good on you, boys. Thanks for tuning in. Dave Trevathan, who was in the Intro to Wings race earlier, he's enjoying the call. And as I said, Tahei Rahana earlier in the evening as well. Now, we're in the closing stages. A lap to go for Dennis Gaderick next time by the line. There he is. Round onto the main straight. Gaderick is one from home. This will be the end of... Actually, yeah, this will be the end of... This will be lap 30, so we are only going to get the 30. I had that right. That's okay. Just want to double check it. Yeah, lap 30 is what was just started now. So I thought we might get the 31. We're not going to. If it was the old 45 plus 1 lap, we would. But no, that's 45 and that's it. Checkered flag wave. So therefore, this is it for Dennis Gaderick. 3 on the trot to start the season. And 2 pole positions and 2 clean races to go with it. And I think I was right with that. So last week, of course, it was pole, the fastest lap, the clean race. The week before, it was 4th on the grid, the race win, and the clean race.
All the bonus points.
Sorry, and the fastest lap, not the clean race the first week. So this will be his second clean race. He's got the fastest lap. He's got the race win. He got the pole position. He has absolutely cleaned up tonight. He's going to extend that championship lead out beyond 20 points and really cement himself as a formidable favourite, the man to beat in the GT3 series on a Monday night for the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Around the final turn of the Ogiyama International Circuit. Dominant performance from Dennis Gaderick. Right up from first to last. He's got 3 on the trot in the GT3 series in Season 3. What a performance. What about that? Second, Postlethwaite. Lavis has got the better of Postlethwaite. Postlethwaite has run out of fuel. Postlethwaite has run out of fuel on the run across the line. Would you fair dinkum believe that? Lavis has got to cross the line to get the better of Postlethwaite in a photo. Look at this. Wow. Can't say I'm a little bit shocked by all of that. So Lavis, who lost the spot to Postlethwaite in the pit window, gains it back on the finish line. Merritt 4th, Mansell 5th, then Turner Candola. I can't believe that. I'm just a little bit stunned The margin between them at the end was 0.8 of a second. And Pulsavator's
There you
into
go, the
retirement
pits,
because he couldn't drive around on the slowdown lap. He's run out of fuel. Now, is that an oversight on laps remaining fuel in tank or something from him? I mean, he ran a beautiful race up until that point, but Lavis has jumped him on the line. He still holds on to third. Merritt fourth. Then Mansell, Turner, Candola, Benson, Reston. And Guy Leach making up the top 10. Michael Angus, Chris Whitaker. Then Jackson Rayhana, Richard Mitchum, and Justin Swercott making up the top 15. There is your finishing order. Dylan Gray's about to join us in the chat room here. So too Michael Porter. And so too Chris Stark. We'll get to them in just a moment, particularly Porter and Stark, because I want their thoughts on a couple of incidents in the racing tonight. Just going down the order. From 16th, it was Perry Anastakis, 17th, Adam Lavis, 18th, Michael Cracknell, then Ross Ponting and Paul Wood made up the top 20. Let's go over the page. And we still go on one more page too, by the way. Green, Sorterio, Austin Snell. So Benny Snell jumped up, what was it, about 17 positions in all of that. So he and Perry Anastakis both made up 17 tonight. Yanni Sorterio lost 17, it's important to note. Rogers, Green, Wood, Goldman, Riddell. So Glenn Cito Riddell's had an absolute shocker, hasn't he? Because he started well up the order, but he's dropped down 15 spots and didn't come around to take the checkered flag according to our timing screen here. Peter Hunter, 30th, Warwick Sharp, Brendan Whitaker, Daniel Birchnell, Jamie Welch, then Rick Sebra, Josh Forer, Lee Siddles, Dan Siciliano, then Jared Daly and Jack Allisey. And a lot of retirements in all of that. Brenton Hobson didn't even take the start. Chris Stark, as race control, is somehow being shown as a race participant. So that's all good and well. In the end there, Birchnell, Welch, Zebra, Forer, Siddle, Siciliano, Daly, and Allisey, the retirements. We'll get some replays coming your way here, folks. Let's throw the conversation around. Chris Stark, your observations tonight?
Zach, most of me and Michael was spent reviewing a number of early incidents. We missed the race. There was a little bit of ordinary driving going on out there, a little bit but Okayama is a very tight, twisty, high-risk, low-reward type track.
It does bring out the worst in some, doesn't it?
Not so much the worst. People do high-risk manoeuvres. It's a couple of silly moves, but we've got a couple of things to look at post-race. Although it was pretty exciting, just some silly stuff.
This is what we said post-race too, wasn't it? Pre-race. Talking about the limited overtaking opportunities, talking about if you're going to put a move on, you've got to be absolutely 100% sure that you can pull it off because of that high risk, low reward sort of talk that you spoke of just a moment ago. When you put a move in there, you've got to be totally committed because, as we saw at the hairpin at the end of the back straight, blind spots do exist, and we saw that well and truly showcased during a couple of incidents there this evening.
Myself and Michael have also noticed over the last couple of races there's been an increase in netcode stuff. So not sure if that's to do with the iRacing servers and updates, but there's been a little bit more netcode type stuff going on.
Probably have something to do with the fact that we're now operating in 5 different time zones as well, I reckon.
Well, you're about 1908.
Well, actually, I'm surprised the internet's even working up here in Queensland, if I'm honest with you.
Have you got a cup on each end?
Sorry?
Have you got a cup on each end? Like, give me that.
Yeah, pretty much. A cup and some string. Actually, I think it's like steel wire up here. What's string? Let's throw the conversation around. Michael Porter's got his microphone muted at the moment, but as soon as he unmutes that, which he has now, I'll bring him in. Michael, your observations of the race alongside Chris Stark there in race control?
Mate, I was furiously typing the whole time, trying to keep up with the incidents. There was a bit going on at the start, so it was it looked like a good race at the end. Bad luck there at the end for Chris, was it at the end?
Emmerich got Trent lost. Trent gained second place. Glenn lost it running out of fuel on the line, I assume. I'll get that confirmed in just a moment. Stand by there for me, Glenn.
Definitely. That's what it looked like. yeah, no, but lots of
Mate, the only incident that we saw that's probably worth having a chat with you about towards the end there was the Emirates Candola incident with Jamie Welch. Was it? Oh, sorry, Maverick Benson.
Maverick?
My apologies. Maverick Benson. So Maverick got into the side of Emirates there, turned around, wasn't able to redress it or didn't redress it, one or the other. How did race control see that?
Yeah, so he did end up redressing a lap later.
Okay.
Yes, so he kind of didn't quite get up far enough at the inside contact. But yeah, all good in the end.
Yeah, we didn't actually see that on screen, the redress. So thanks for clarifying that for us. Obviously, 3 rounds down. Dennis Gaderick's looking formidable at the moment. We thankfully go to a little bit more of an open circuit next week, the Interlagos circuit in Brazil.
Yeah, hopefully we won't have as many incidents as what we have. This is quite a tight track. Same with the Porsches last week. It was a pretty tight place, very hard to make a pass, very easy to accidentally punt somebody as well. And like Chris said, there's a fair bit of netcode sort of happening. So yeah, hopefully we have a bit of a cleaner one.
You need weeks like this to appreciate the cleaner ones. Like I'm just trying to think of the last really clean one we had, and it might have been Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. That wasn't too bad compared to the incidents we saw here tonight. But that is what it is, boys. Thank you for coming in to have a chat to us. We really do appreciate that. So you'll be able to read the full Stewart's report on the club group page on Facebook in coming hours and days, once they've reviewed all the footage and even any lodged protests reviewed as well. And I think there might be a couple tonight. The boys certainly did have their work cut out for them. Chris Kisby, let me go to you because you will have an update from what happened down in the AM split or the Pro-Am?
AMs, mate.
In the AMs, mate?
Yeah, good evening, Zach, and good evening to the viewers there. Absolutely brilliant race down there. Average lap time of 1:32, laps completed 30. We had 2 lead changes. Our winners, Jamie Knight, Simon Ferris, Lee Williamson, consecutively. Congratulations to those.
Very
Our
nice.
top 10, Aaron Gray, Declan Hart, Adam Coughlin, Sean Rees, Steve Purden, Doug White, Luke Keamy, and I missed out by that much on the top 10, so I came in at 11th.
Chris.
And I'm going to have words with Luke later. I'll
Why
work
not?
out his pit exit. Yeah. But absolutely fantastic race. I didn't see too much on the track. Some good battles in that 9th, 10th, 11th spot. Probably some good battles in that 5th, 6th, 7th as well. And Jamie, Simon and Lee raced very hard up at the front there. So I'm very proud of the boys. We had no major incidents in the first few laps. A couple of redresses I have to have a look at. But I think we had a reasonably clean race there, Zach.
Which is the main thing, mate. Very nicely done. Hang tight. We'll come back to you if we get the chance. In fact, Adam Lavis will be punching away on championship updates right now, so we should be able to give you an update on that before the end of the broadcast, so hang around. Paul Nichols, I'll leave you in charge of giving us the update of what happened in the AM split, in the Pro-Am split in terms of results, and I'll come to you as soon as you're ready with that. Let me throw the conversation around here before we get underway. Let's go to Trent Lavis. I'll come to Dennis Gaderick in a moment as the race winner because I need to mix things up, because if we talk to the same person first every week, it gets a little bit repetitive. But he is in dominant form at the moment. Trent, you lost second in the pit stop and you got it back with about 3 meters to go on the race. What happened in the pit lane to allow Glenn to leapfrog you? And then, of course, how pumped were you to be able to pass Glenn right on the finish line?
Well, the pit stop was one to forget about. I slowed down to 60 at the wrong set of cones. So I was cruising at 60 for maybe, 30, 40 meters further than I should have. And I also stopped too short in the box. So the guys didn't even touch my car until I crept forward. And I bogged it coming out of pits as well. So I stalled it.
You're such a rookie.
Mate, I reckon. What a rookie. This is what happens when you don't practice, ladies and gents. So,
all right, well, this is right. See, we were talking about this the other day. Some people put a lot of time into their practice, and you not so much.
Yeah, I did about, about half a dozen or so laps there with Chris and Brendan in one of the VRS things there, Savi, and then jumped into the main set about half hour to go. had a bit of a run. So it wasn't too bad. I was
Yeah.
pretty happy with the pace. There's no way we're going to catch Dennis. He's an absolute alien in these things, and also mixing it with the best in the world. So it goes to show the level of his ability up there, just absolutely creaming us every day. But I was happy to hang with him at the start there for the most part until I made a few blues. And at the end of the race, I think Posy might have short stinted himself a smidge and just burped coming over the line.
Glenn, let's confirm that with you, mate. You lost a race in a pit stop in round one of the Porsche GT3 Series at Suzuka a couple of weeks ago. It looked like you'd won a positional battle in a pit stop at Okayama tonight. Unfortunately, had the race been one lap shorter, that would have been the case. Not so for you. You must be looking forward to not racing in Japan again in the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't have the best run in the Porsches at this track. What was it? I don't know, the other day anyway.
Yeah,
last week. So yeah, it was much happier in this car. Sort of feels a lot better than the Porsche. I kind of got sold the dummy at Phillip Island in the Porsche, and it doesn't feel real good everywhere else to me now. But anyway, this thing feels a little bit nicer, but still not able to string the lap together in quali. Yeah, got pretty lucky. Jumped, I think, John in the pit stop, and got Lobesy as well, which was, I saw him sort of jump past his pit stall there and made up a lot of ground on the entry, as he sort of said. But yeah, I worked out my fuel numbers before the race, and obviously not very well, because I was nowhere near. I think about 2 laps to go, I sort of realised and started rolling off pretty heavily. So yeah, come around the last corner with 0.2 of a litre left, and I was just driving along with my fingers crossed, and it didn't quite get there, but
hoping for the best, and it didn't quite happen, mate. But still, it's a podium finish. It's 3rd place, and a good haul of points going forward for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And I was trying to concentrate on not getting any incidents, and I was like, oh yeah, I did well with that. And then I checked the results, and the top 6 didn't get any incidents. So there goes that that little bonus. But yeah, and it was good fun anyway.
Indeed, it was. I mean, we normally talk to you on a Friday night. We haven't seen you in the stock car this series. You're starting to really cement your place in these GT3 cars. You're starting to really look comfy.
Yeah, I'm not really 100% sort of in the cars at the moment, but we sort of, like, I hadn't done any laps before tonight, so I guess I can't complain too much.
You're pulling a Trent.
Yeah, you don't want to practice too much, sort of. You don't want to wear yourself out, but
see, it works.
Yeah, sort of.
There's a strategy to it.
Yeah,
method to the madness.
That's it. We just throw a setup on and basically just run it. I don't make any changes to the car because I really don't know what I'm doing with these things. So just try and do some laps, and I've got better pace, I think, in qualifying than where I keep ending up. But I can't get the full committed lap together. I just make silly little mistakes here and there, and just can't wrap it all up. So hopefully I'll sort that out. But yeah, still do not have the pace for Dennis. He's just unreal in these things. So.
Indeed he is. Let's go there now. Dennis Gaderick, mate. For the 3rd week in a row, you've got the race win. For the 2nd week in a row, you've gone through and claimed everything. Pole, fastest lap, clean race, no incidents. I mean, it's a formidable start of the season. What you've done in Ferrari, you've absolutely smashed out of the park in the Audi, and you're certainly not looking back from here. 3 rounds down, you are the man to beat. I don't think anyone has gone 3 in a row in any of the GT3 racing that we've covered this season. You are in a rare spate of form. In fact, if you want to take in the last race of season 2, it's now 4 on the trot, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'm kind of scared, to be honest. I don't feel like anybody's practicing. Imagine if everybody was putting the laps in. Jesus Christ, I'd be nowhere at this point.
Yes. Again, not as dominant last week in terms of the winning margin, but certainly just as good. You got to the front, you took the early lead, you stayed there, you didn't look back, you didn't lose the lead all night.
Yeah, well, to be fair with you, I don't know, I was going through some weird stuff tonight. I just couldn't find exactly a rhythm. My laps were really inconsistent, and I was more trying to keep the car on the road just more than anything and make it to the end. It was a bit of a weird night for me, to be honest with you, like sort of in terms of lap wise, and especially sort of with that, with the back markers, sort of, and the accidents that were going on around. So yeah, it was a bit of fun, that's for sure. I've got a bit of a sweat going.
Well, that's the thing. It's that time of year now. humidity's picking up. Everyone's going to develop a sweat just sitting in their office chair on a Monday night. As it is, like I kid you not, across the last couple of years of living here in Queensland, there's been that much sweat exasperate out of me that I now need to reupholster the office chair. Like just sitting here in the office, not just on work days, but also just in general when I'm browsing Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or whatever the case may be. So I can only imagine how you guys are going in your desk chairs when you're sitting there, kitted up, you've got your race face on. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, Queensland is just a humid part of the world, and there's not enough we can do to combat that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, the good news is actually, speaking of that, today's the first day I jumped in the pool since winter. So it's kind of, there you go, that's how hot it's getting. Doesn't help because my window likes to close by itself in my room, and especially obviously because with all the computer and everything like that, TV, it gets really hot. And, you know, after the second lap, seeing the window go up, I was like, oh, it's going to be a 45-minute sauna in here. That's awesome. Thought I needed to sweat it out, that's for sure.
Exactly right. I didn't even think to turn the fan on here this evening. I thought the weather might cool a little bit, but it is Ipswich after all. So what can I do? There's not much I can say. Although thanks for rubbing it into all of us that don't have a pool. By the way, it would have been nice to have one today. Watch the women's cricket. But anyway,
oh, whoopsies.
We'll get back to you very shortly, Dennis. Very nicely done. Where do I want to go from here? Can't go to Rick Turner yet. Can't go to Paul Nichols just yet, but I can go up to Chris Stark.
So, mate, you missed the Emmerich Candola and Maverick Benson. I'm sharing my screen live if you want to have a quick look at that.
Beautiful. Thank you very much, Lee. We saw the incident. We just didn't see the redress. So
yeah, I'll just run this frame by frame what happened.
Beautiful. Please do. So he's Benson coming up on the inside of Candola. I'm not sure if JP's been able to share this screen across to the broadcast, but we're just having a look down through into turn 8. And you'll get a replay of it soon on the broadcast here, folks. Just up on the inside, it just looked like Benson got into the side. Marginal contact.
Caught his rear corner.
On the rear corner, yes. You'll see it on your screen in just a moment. JP's looking for it at this point in time. And around there went
I'll run you a real
Emmerich Candola. And as far as real time is concerned, we'll see that as well. It happened very quickly. We saw it live. Down on the inside and crunch. And there wasn't anything that Maverick Benson could do about that. By the time he made attempted the move, he was committed to it, Chris. And there was no real nice way of being able to pull out of that. He had to commit to it. He drove in. Unfortunately, incidents happen. It's racing.
Yeah, just different lines, and Maverick was coming in quite quicker. Obviously, that looked like Amber slowed down a lot more and just tagged him. We did make Maverick redress. Me and Michael talked about it, and we gave him the option to redress before we offered him a drive-through, and he took the option to redress. So well done. Which
was essentially enough of a penalty as it is anyway, because of how much quicker he was able to leave the scene than Emmerich, which you'll see here. So there it is. Rear car contact, front to rear, and then around went Candola. And as I say, normally you wouldn't get that from Maverick, but that's the thing. When you commit to a move and it's not going to happen and it's too late to realise that, bang is the result. All right, let's go. Michael Porter's out of the chat room at the moment, but he and I and a few others were out hovering around the Queensland Karting Championships over the course of the weekend. So we'll keep this short because I know there were a few people wanting some shut-eye after a long weekend.
It's in fact 9:30 for us here.
Yes, wanting a little bit of shut-eye for the start of the working week tomorrow. In fact, it's been a shorter long weekend in New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania for reasons already explained than what it has been here in Queensland. It's been a very long weekend. In fact, we've gone back in time. Let's go to Dylan Gray. What brings you into the chat server, my friend? Were you in the Pro-Am split or the Am split tonight? Where were you?
I was in Pro-Am with race control.
With race control. How was that for you? What'd you find?
It was actually pretty good in that I had one incident to have a look at after the race in that.
Want to elaborate on that for us, mate, while we've got you?
it was. I'm going to get Nico to have a look at it as well because I think
Fair enough. Yeah, no,
was
that's
a bit harsh.
That's a very good idea. Paul Nichols can be the judge of fact. I'm sure he'll be looking forward to that, actually. There'll be a lot of replays to have a look at tomorrow. There's the redress on your screen there that we didn't see Maverick Benson on Emmerich Candola, and then they went racing again. And in the end, Emmerich held off Maverick in the closing stages. They came home 7th and 8th. Right, let's get to the other drivers in the chat room here. Luke Turner's got his microphone muted at the moment, but we'll see if he can unmute it. There he is. Mate, 6th place, up 3 spots from where you started. That's a pass mark.
Yeah, very happy with that. I made a little mistake. I was having a good ding-dong battle with Paul Mansell, and coming down that back straight into that right hairpin, I locked the rears and took a little excursion and gave the place away and a few others. But I pitted then just quickly, and then, unfortunately, some guys, I got a few freebies. Glenn Riddell got caught up with another fella, and then at the end there, Maverick Benson, who, like you said, is always a gentleman, just made a little mistake, and then I got 2 more freebies. So, all in all, pretty good.
Pretty good indeed. Well done. What are your thoughts on Interlagos next week, mate? Because that's the next round of the championship.
Oh, I love Interlagos. It's a great track. It's like a mixture of high speed and then, like almost like a little Winton track in the middle.
Yes.
And this time I've got to remember to come home earlier. I was out on my mountain bike and suddenly realised that daylight savings had kicked in for the Mexicans, and so I had to hoon down the hill and jump in the car. It's like, oh no, I'm not going to make it.
See, this is the problem with living in 1908, mate. That's it's already caught a few people out. You won't be the first, you won't be the last, and yet here we are living in the past, literally for the next 6 months.
Mate.
Yeah, may as well be back in the gold rush. I mean, fair income. I mean, and this is the thing: no testicular fortitude within the parliamentarian offices of Brisbane and Queensland. So therefore, don't expect change on it anytime soon, because none of them have any economic intelligence whatsoever, let alone a spine. Let's throw the conversation around. However, thank you, Luke. Well done, mate. I'll go to our old mate Chris Whitaker. Actually, let's bring him in. Chris, 12th place for you, up 9 spots. Nicely done. You turned 21st into 12th, and you were in a fairly good fight there throughout the course of the evening with the likes of Michael Angus. In the end, Jackson Rayhana and Richard Mitchum weren't too far away from you either.
I think I had a battle with absolutely everyone on the track tonight, mate. It was,
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was very odd. We actually stuck a fair bit of practice in and had a pretty good setup, and then come qualifying and race, it just didn't work. So back to the drawing board with that one. But yeah, and both cars were the same. We had small variations between my car and Brendan's car, just with different ways that we steer them. But unfortunately, his bit him with 2 or 3 laps to go, and he decided to smack it into the pit wall. So that puts him 32nd or 34th or something. But yeah, look, the 12th, I'm happy with 12th. As I said last week, I was aiming for 10th, so we're 2 off there. But we've halved our positions from last week, so we'll try to do that next week.
Okayama's a tricky little circuit at the best of times. We were talking about it there with Chris Stark and Paul Nichols throughout the course of the evening as well. Tricky little circuit to master. Limited overtaking opportunities. High risk, no reward. You must be looking forward to getting to a circuit like Interlagos, which is a little bit more open, a little bit more flowing, a little bit more car friendly.
Yeah, I don't mind this track. I don't mind Okayama. It's one of my favourites. Just the Beamer kind of, well, for me at least, didn't work.
The Beamer didn't want to play.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, I mean, for where we ended up, I'm happy with that anyway. But yeah, same story. Interlagos, big fan of Interlagos. We'll probably go a similar sort of philosophy for Interlagos with the setup as well, which, it's probably more passing opportunities there than what you've got here. But obviously, this is really hard track to pass on. So we just went, no, well, stuff it, make the thing a rocket ship in a straight line, and hope for the best, make it turn as best we can everywhere else. But and I mean, that seemed to work for us tonight. But I'd say we'll probably do a fairly similar thing for Interlagos as well.
Interesting to hear that you've thrown BMW under the bus there and said that it just didn't want to play ball for you. The spacer was okay. He wasn't the problem.
No, definitely not.
No, okay, definitely the car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that might be the case. Very nicely done.
There was 2 other Beamers in front of me, so obviously it's something I'm doing wrong. It's got to be set up. It's all a setup, mate. Can't be the driver.
well, this is the thing, isn't it? And again, it just highlights how real and how proper this iRacing caper is, as we watch some of the boys' best work here on the straight post race, Dennis Gaderick and Trent Lavis. That it comes down to little things like your own personal individual setups. And from one driver to another, you're all going to like the little idiosyncrasies with a variance of difference throughout the field, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%. As Amrit goes upside down again.
What
Is
the
that
hell
Amrit
happened
upside
there?
down? Or whatever it is, got flipped upside down when they're doing donuts. But
I mean, fair income.
you can't trust these blade skid control boys, can you? Have a look at them.
Can we just talk to Dennis and Trent for a moment and just say, boys, there's enough racetrack there that you didn't need to be that tight.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah, no arguments. Thank you. Discussion over. Case closed, as they say. Chris,
Connor wasn't doing anything, so to make him do something.
well, that's fair too. I'll pay that. Well played. Chris, not even halfway through the championship, and Dennis is going to be difficult to catch. What's your, now that you've got through round 3, you're still aiming for a top 10 race finish target. What are you thinking about in terms of end game when we get to that final round, Mount Panorama? Where's a pass mark for you with regards to the championship?
Oh, I think championship's sort of done and dusted for me already because I've already used both my drop rounds. So
yeah, fair enough.
All it takes after a 40th in the first week and then 25th last week, it's that ain't going to cut it. So hopefully they're my drop rounds. Otherwise, I've had another barrier effort somewhere along the line. But yeah, look, wherever we end up, we end up. It's at the end of the day, if we can get a couple of top 10s there, there's some pretty quick guys around here, and they're only getting quicker, unfortunately for us, but fortunately for the club. But the likes of Dennis, what he's pulling out of the bag, and I mean, if Trent would pull his finger out and do some practice, maybe he'd actually be up there with him as well, by the looks of things. So
True.
That's it. But no, look, there's no sort of target as such for the championship at this point in time. Anyway, it's just a matter of wherever we land, we land. I mean, I went that whole race, and I didn't cop any incidents apart from someone hit me up the date coming into the right hander on the back straight. So I got 4 incidents for the whole race, but it was just from that one getting hit up the bum. So we're sort of trying to do what I can to maximise the points, but you land where you land. That's how it ends up.
Well, this is exactly right. Let's go to Jackson Rayhana now. Stay there, Chris. I'll come back to you if we get time. Seriously, mate, the open wheeler couldn't have gone any better for you. The GT3 race, however, buried down in 13th position, up 16 from where you started. That's a nice performance. Don't worry about that. There were a couple of 17s and a 16 there, 14 for Richard Mitchum as well. But it just goes to show that when you're getting into the server late, try to put a clean one together and get up on the grid. It ain't easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wouldn't even put it down to that. It's just more, I've never really, whether it be the Mercedes or the Ferrari, which, by the way, surprise, that's the car I'm driving this season.
Yes, very nice choice. Inspired by Dennis Gaderick, we should point out at this point in time. Go, Jackson.
Yes. But yeah, whether it be the Mercedes or the Ferrari, for some reason I just I've never had the qualifying pace in this car. So, burying it that far down the pack and I guess doing a hobbo and burning from the stern it's a risky sort of thing to do. But tonight, thankfully, we stayed out of trouble for once, and for the first time in what seems like weeks. And yeah, we passed a few cars. It was good fun from where I was sitting.
It looked like fun from where we were sitting as well, mates. And wasn't a processional race by any stretch of the imagination, unless you were in first place. He's just clearing out 3, 4, 5, 6, 17 seconds ahead of the rest, depending upon which week it is. But right throughout the rest of the field, there was some form of battle. Trent, obviously, in the pit lane with Glenn. That swapped around. Glenn running out of fuel meant Trent got back in front. A lot happening there. And you working your way back through the field with Richard Mitchum, with Chris Whitaker. You guys all buried down the order for the start, but all made progress through the field, and you came home 12th, 13th, and 14th. You weren't too far off Chris in the end either, and it got another lap. You might have been a chance.
Yeah, Chris looked like he was struggling a little bit, probably through the whole second sequence of the race after the pit stop. The BMW just looked a little bit of a handful, so thought we might have been a chance. yeah, to be honest, after qualifying, I'm a little bit shocked myself that I was able to get that far up the field because, I got pretty much. There wasn't much more in it for qualifying for me, I don't think. So, which just blows my mind considering how much quicker, Amrit and Dennis are. It just, as Posy alluded to before, just Dennis has just found something else in these things that a lot of us are trying to find. So, yeah, the next how many more weeks? We've got 7 more weeks. It's going to
7,
be
yeah.
We got some not soul searching for lack of a better word to do, but we've got to find something hopefully and get a bit further up the field and a little bit more competitive. I mean, heck, if I can finish in the top 10 or for the most of the second half of the season in the Merc last season, then should be able to do it in this Ferrari. It's just adapting to the new car, I guess.
Absolutely. 7 weeks to go after this one. 7 long weeks for those of us living up here in Queensland. Don't worry about that. There's 26 of them in the next short while between now and April. Thankfully, as I said yesterday, Easter Sunday will be the best present of the lot because that's when the clocks go back. I won't even need chocolate. I'll be that happy. Let's go and throw the conversation around for a little bit longer because Adam Lavis will come back to us soon with championship points. Paul Nichols. It's great to see such high interest again in the pro split. It's great to see a variety of different circuits. The last championship, a little bit American-centric, but we're doing more Asian and European tracks this time round. Next week, however, South America for the first time all year. People have been asking for Interlagos. The club's delivered. This is going to be a great race next Monday night because it's a great circuit. Doesn't matter what category, be it 2 wheels or 4, Interlagos just throws up good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the best racing tracks in the world, actually. I'm really looking forward to next week. The racing standards tonight, I was in Pro-Am tonight, fantastic racing standard. I think the first 4 laps, there was no incidents. Race control, I was in race control at the time, and the guys in race control said, what a fantastic start. So that's what the club wants. We want to continue that process of having a fantastic couple of first laps. Interlagos next week, can't wait. Should be fantastic.
Little tip from the F1 video games: if the tyre wall on the exit of turn 2 on the run to turn 3 on the right hand side is anything like is anything in iRacing as it is in Formula 1, all you have to do is get slightly into that wall, 2 cars into that wall, bounce back onto the racetrack, and you'll have the track blocked. So we'll be watching very closely to make sure we can get through the first lap cleanly in Interlagos, because as we've seen, it's Spa, Francorchamps, and a couple of other circuits. You don't always have to be in a corner to cause carnage. Just think Summit Point, if you don't mind me saying so. So looking forward to that. Dennis, how long does this winning streak continue, mate? I mean, what's it going to take to beat you at the moment, apart from maybe a blackout or an internet dropout or some minor miracle?
Well, I just feel like, I know from what I've heard, maybe we'll just need to actually do some laps before the race, I reckon, and that should pretty much sort it out. No, it's I actually don't know, to be fair with you. I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm really happy with my driving at the moment, and I think just purchasing the VRS has made a massive difference, sort of like for the driving side. So yeah, no, I reckon it's just sort of practice. I mean, I'll keep doing my own thing. I'll keep practicing, and I'll see how quick I can get. And I don't know, we'll see how we go next week. We'll just see what we can do.
Indeed, we will. Trent Lavis is what Chris Whitaker said as a cheeky sledge, right, in the sense that if you do more practice, you might be up there, right there, fighting for the win, challenging your teammate all the way?
Oh, buggers me, mate. I'll give it a go, I suppose, one day when I get time. I just don't have time, mate.
Well, and this is the thing. Paul Nichols and I mentioned this at the start of halfway during the race when Paul come in and joined me in commentary. And I meant it with no disrespect to the club whatsoever, but is 2021 on your minds, boys? I'm going to direct this at the real world races, particularly, of course, Chris and also Trent Lavis here. Is 2021 on your mind when you think, hang on, the real world thing's going to be back in full swing? We're going to actually be able to, provided that COVID sorts itself out between now and then, obviously, We're going to be able to go back to the racetrack. We're not going to be able to dedicate as much time to the simulator. What are your thoughts regarding 2021? Because my first thought, and I asked Nico, is the club worried about a little bit of a drop-off in participation when things do get back to a proper normal? Trent, as someone that's come into the virtual from the real and embraced it in the time where we've not been able to have our normal fix at the racetrack, where do you sit on that? I mean, obviously, it might be too early to tell with 2021 still being 3 months away, but what are your initial thoughts?
My race calendar normally isn't too hectic. I sort of plan it ahead throughout the year. And if you plan ahead, you can give yourself enough time to do some things like this. So I think I'll have a look in December at the year ahead if there's anything going on, and try and plan and make sure the car's ready to go for one, and try and save a few nights a week to be able to have some fun with the gentlemen.
I think January, February will be very popular for the sim racing because our real world stuff up here in Queensland at least doesn't get back underway until March. Chris, what are your initial thoughts on 2021? Because I know you're a big sim racer as much as you enjoyed the circuit experience as well.
Yeah, pretty well as Trent said, mate. To be honest, it's really the hours that I put into the sim versus the hours that we put into the race cars, chalk and cheese. Is a hell of a lot more that goes into the sim. So touch wood, with the car remains reliable and we continue like that. But at the end of the day, it's majority of the time on the sim is at night, whereas if we're working on the car, it's usually weekends. During the day, so it just gets too bloody hard at night. I can't see at the best time. So the second it gets dark, you're buggered. So I don't think.
Funny that. It gets dark here too bloody early, Chris. I agree with you.
Here we go. Here we go again. Sorry, everyone.
Hey, Chris, you brought it up.
Again.
You don't have to say much tonight, mate. I'm already out of the box. There's no wind up required tonight. I'm just really in one of those moods. But anyway, absolutely. Hey, Chris. On that subject, though, obviously we heard Luke Turner say, "Hang on, I had to bolt home this afternoon because I forgot about the time change." How does the time change affect you when we get to next week when you're obviously back at work getting stuff done, earning a living 9 to 5, get home, that compromised less time in the server before we get underway?
It's not really too different, to be honest. It's just a bit of a bugger when
you're not helping me at all here, are you?
Sorry, mate. It's just a bit of a bugger when you're trying to have a feed because it's
exactly.
too early to have dinner before practice starts, and then
so you go out and have dinner at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Well, I end up stopping for 15 minutes during qualifying and just throw it down the hatch quickly and jump back in again. But so that was a bit painful. But I'm probably not quite as passionate as what you are, Zach. But I'm all for it as well because it does cause a world of hurt and no end of grief when it comes to communicating with the other states. So the Mexicans are many years behind us. Unfortunately, this one we're behind them.
The best example, in front or behind?
No, definitely in front, Paul. Chris is wrong on so many levels there. However, I'll share another thing with regards to that. Yeah, you'll get it. Don't worry about that. You'll get more than that. Actually, my radio station today, just to finish on the point, and then we'll talk next week's racing as well. Actually, while I do that, Chris, just initial thoughts, and maybe Jackson as well, since you guys are in here. Friday night, stock cars, circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. Chris, you had success there much earlier in the year. Time to come back into the stock cars and have another crack, I'd say, considering we haven't been seeing on a Friday night.
That might be enough to tempt me. Let's see.
Yeah,
We'll see how the week pans out. We'll see how the week pans out. So, if I don't know if we've got any plans or anything. So, if there's no plans and I'm home, then worst case we'll aim to jump in the comms booth with you. But if time permits, we'll jump in and go for a skid.
He's been running scared ever since he turned into me at the Roval.
Zach's passion to daylight saving is to Chris's passion with that incident. We'll just agree to disagree, Trent.
Correct. Actually, there's a couple more blokes standing by to come back into the broadcast green room, namely Chris Stark and Warwick Sharp as well. I'll get to Warwick in just a moment. Good to have you boys there. Just having a look here. I was talking about, yeah, that's right. Sorry, I got sidetracked with Chris and Trent going hammer and tong there. Looking at one of the things there with Paul Nichols saying that New South Wales is ahead, or Chris saying that Queensland's ahead. Well, look, I've seen it all after today's comment. I had a bloke on the West River Radio Facebook page saying, why would Queensland want to follow New South Wales lead, comparing daylight saving to things like double white lines, hired personal plate, rego fees, and all that sort of rubbish, and housing as well. I'm like, what in the hell has this got to do with it? They're separate issues, mate. Just let it go. It's amazing what people will do to say, oh, no, we shouldn't have daylight saving because of this, this, and this, when it's got absolutely nothing to do with the issue whatsoever anyway. Warwick Sharp, since you're in the server, mate, we dragged you in there. Thanks for coming in to have a chat to us. Tell us a little bit about your night.
Hello, Warwick.
You there, Warwick? No, we haven't got Warwick. He's just disappeared. That would be a no. That's a tech issue at someone's end, probably ours. Look, seriously, when they're sitting in the broadcast green room, you drag them into the college box and they leave. It's like, well, hang on, don't park in the broadcast green room to begin with. Adam Lavis, I believe championship points are ready to read out.
Yeah, got one question first.
Yes, mate. Sorry?
Time is it?
Oh, what time is it? Yeah. Time that I wish I could
Depends
give
where you
people
are.
up. But yeah, it depends where you are. The time is for Queensland parliamentarians to grow a spine is what the time is. They need an uppercut, a lot of them. Hey, championship points. Let's go and do that before I get in any more trouble here. GT3 standings. Pro-Am. Let's start. Let's start with Pro. That's mislabeled on my sheet here. Let's start with Pro. Dennis Gaderick, 104, Emmerich Candola, 70, and Glenn Postlethwaite, 66. Have a look at that. He's just almost doubled his margin. It was 18 coming into the round. It's 34 going out. Dennis Gaderick, the man to beat again in this series, folks. I'm going to keep saying it. Put your house on it. Dennis Gaderick for the championship. He won't like me talking it up too much in case it all goes
That's
pear-shaped.
not a
But anyway.
commentated curse, mate. I don't know what that is.
All right. Paul Mansell is 4th on 65 and John Merritt on 64. Trent Lavis, 57. So Trent's moved up into 6th spot there. Guy Leach, 48. Luke Turner, 47. And Maverick Benson on 39 points. 37 for Parry Anastakis, making up the top 10. He's tied with Michael Angus. Brenton Hobson not starting the race tonight, 35 points on 12th. And a logjam of Ferraris there, 9, 10, 11, and 12 at this point in time. In the top 10 alone, you've got Ferrari, BMW, Ford, Audi, and obviously no Mercedes, no McLaren there at this point in time. Rightio. Paul Nichols, thank you very much to you. Actually, before you go, because I know you're about to rock and roll, driver of the night, please. You can't go without giving us that.
Well, actually, drive the night to myself, crashed out, Pro-Am. No, I haven't got the results in front of me, so I think, seriously, can't call it. I'll leave it up to you guys.
All right, fair enough. Thank you, mate. Good to have your company as per usual.
Right.
See you Wednesday night.
Good fun.
Good stuff. Paul Nichols there. Gentlemen, don't worry. We're not going too much longer into the night. It's already 10 o'clock on the East Coast, and I know that because I've got my clock on my laptop, on my watch, on my computer set to New South Wales time because that's the way it should be. Let's go to Pro-Am because I haven't actually run through the results from the Pro-Am race as yet. So let's do that now. And they too, this evening, recorded 30 laps over their 45-minute race, and that's no cautions for them either. Johannes Koch getting the win from Cal Crowther, and then also Thomas Martin, Ken Munro, Matthew O'Grady, David Johnson, then David Riddell, Michael Martin, and Curtis Williams making up the top 9 with Nathaniel Webber in 10th. The championship standings after this round, and actually, Adam, since you are there, am I going to be able to run through intro to wings points as well before we sign off here?
I haven't done any.
Okay, no, that's all right. All right, we'll leave them for Wednesday then. The championship in Pro-Am after 3 rounds. Crowther, 85. O'Grady, 70. Johannes Koch, 63.5. Nathaniel Webber, 59. And James Wilkins, 53 points. 1 point back to David Riddell. Jaden Schmidt on 50. 49 for Curtis Porter. 49 also for Curtis Williams and Thomas Martin on 48 points. Ferrari, BMW, Audi all featuring in the top 10 there. Huge presence of Ferrari. Very small presence of Audi. Just the 1 and 3 Bimmers in the top 10. Looking at the AM split, we ran through the results there earlier. Here is the run through of the points at this point in time. Adam Coughlin, 68, 67 for Lee Williamson and 58 for Sean Rees. So, I mean, 34 points the margin in the pro split, first to second, 15 in the pro AM split, 1 in the AM split. How good's that looking for the final round of the year if it continues going at that rate? 58 for Sean Rees, Johannes Koch on 56, but he's already, of course, been elevated up into pro AM. Simon Ferris on 54, 49 for Doug White, 46 for Aaron Gray, then 42 for Brad Double, Kim 4 on 39, so too Chris Kisby. That makes up the top 10. Ford, Ferrari, BMW, Mercedes, all in the top 10 there. I noticed that Chris Kisby's rather happy with himself being in the top 10 of the points at this point in time. Always worthy of mention in the broadcast. Good on you, mate. Fantastic stuff. Driver of the night, well, I mean, you got to give it to the top 2 in that first race, Intro to Wings. Hard to split Michael Hammond and also Jackson Rayhana. The timesheets will say that Michael Hammond got the win, but Rayhana went with him all the way. It was only 0.26 the margin in the end. Impressive drive from Adam Coughlin, 10th to 5th, and Jared Daly, 12th to 6th. Millard, 8th from 13th. But Sean Rees from 19th to 9th was also very, very good. And what about Brad Clank from the back of the field, 26th through to 11th? But I'm going to go with the top 2, even split between Michael Hammond and Jackson Rayhana. The fact that they left the field in their wake, stayed within inches of one another without touching all night. Really good show from the pair of them, 0.26 the margin in the end in favour of Hammer. And he'll be rather happy to get back in the winner's circle after a shocking race at Brands Hatch last week. You can't look past Dennis Gaderick here in GT3 as far as I'm concerned. But honourable mentions to the following drivers: Paul Mansell, 10th to 5th. And then outside the top 10, Chris Whitaker, 21st to 12th. Jackson Rayhana, 29th to 13th. Richard Mitchum, 28th to 14th. Pariana Starkus, particularly 33rd to 16th on a track that's really difficult to overtake. Adam Lavis, well done, 25th to 17th. And, Paul Wood, 30th to 20th as well. Daniel Green, 34th to 21st. 32nd to 23rd for Stone Cold Matt Austin. 41st to 24th for Benny Snell. We didn't hear from Benny tonight, but he got up 17 spots. So he was, along with Parry, the biggest mover of the night. So give it to those two in terms of clean overtaking. Well done. And a long list of drivers, 0 incidents. So a lot of bonus points getting handed out tonight. So well done there. But in terms of driver of the night, you can't look past Dennis Gaderick. I mean, that was just formidable, dominant, and destructive at the front of the field. He just cleared out. So anyone want to throw up some nominations for anyone as far as driver of the night is concerned when they look at the results here? I'll take that as a no. All right. Fantastic. Wednesday night, Adam Lavis, you'll be in the broadcast booth. So looking forward to that. Watkins Glen, the venue. Looking forward to watching TCR and GT4 go racing there. First up in Hump Day Pilot Series action. That'll be 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. And then, of course, the Porsche GT3 Elite Cup for Racecraft to follow that. Just confirming the track layouts for Wednesday night. I believe we've got one on the short circuit, one on the long circuit.
I believe the first race is short.
Okay.
I believe, but I haven't to check. But they're definitely using both circuits over the 2 races.
You definitely won't want to miss that, ladies and gentlemen. Dennis Gaderick, we'll see you on Friday night for some stock cars. Are you enjoying getting the hang of the stock cars at the moment, mate? Montreal, the next stop?
Yeah, it's taken its sweet time, but it's slowly getting there. Supercars was my bread and butter. I did that for 3-4 years before, and I'm trying to. But it's a difficult series, man. The people there are driving hard, and I can't seem to match their pace at the moment. But I'll get there eventually. I'll practice, and I'll get there.
Indeed, you will. Trent Lavis, have we got you joining us in the broadcast booth at some point on Wednesday night, or just for the supercars on Friday night?
See how I'm going for time. If I've got the time and I'm in this hot seat, I'll definitely jump in and throw some words out there for you, mate.
Good man. You're another one compromised by the time difference, of course. So we appreciate it if you can get in. Chris Whitaker, what's next for you?
Well, apparently Friday night. We'll see.
Well, exactly. Montreal. Looking forward to that. If not, next Monday night, yeah?
Yeah, correct, the Monday.
All right, looking forward to that. Chris Kisby, you've still got up-and-comers on a Thursday night, but what else are you up to this week?
This week I got Porsche Cup on Wednesday, race control for the TCRs, and then
Nice.
the V8s on Friday.
All right, mate. Looking forward to seeing you and having a chat with you through all of that. Now, Jackson Rayhana, I noted that we didn't really get a chance to have a chat to you last Friday night. Were you just a little bit disgruntled with what transpired throughout the two races that we saw you in the stock cars and the supercars there?
Oh, mate, I couldn't even get I had no internet. Even if I wanted to come on and have a whinge, I couldn't. Which, it's what I was going to say.
What exactly happened on Friday night? Because 1 minute you're there, next minute the internet drops out, and obviously it took far too long to get it back.
Yeah, we didn't get it back all night. I've been struggling a little bit with it the last few weeks. We finally got ourselves a new modem on Saturday, and it's been really good ever since. I've been able to stream myself without any dropouts, and it's been good. So hopefully it stays that way, and we've got no more problems.
So, just to clarify, Friday night was the straw that broke the camel's back, and you've instantly gone out to the folks and said, look, now we need to get that bloody new modem.
In
few more choice words?
No, definitely not. I was going to say, in fairness to the old man, he went straight out on Saturday morning, came home with a brand new modem. It's like Christmas. So
he's a champion, no doubt about that.
Spent the Saturday setting it up, and we're good, ready to rock and roll. So special shout out to for Dad for getting that sorted for me.
Very good to have him back on board. Exactly right.
Tell the truth. Your mum said you had to go for dinner.
Oh, dearie me.
Well, there we go. So, Curtis Williams commenting online saying Pro-Am was a great race as well. We mentioned that. Tahir Rahana, great night of racing, great production. Thanks for the entertainment. You're more than welcome, as per usual. Thanks for getting the internet sorted and getting back online. We're done. Let's have a look ahead. Good luck to everybody throughout the course of the rest of the week. And good luck to you Queenslanders for the next 26 weeks. It'll feel like 26 years. Let's have a look ahead for you on SimShed Broadcasting. Huge thanks to all the great people that make the broadcast possible first up, including SimShed Broadcasting, but also Oculair, LJ Hooker Gaindar, Central Coast Subaru, Racecraft, Flush Graphics, and Simple Sim Computers. Wednesday night, we're back with you live and exclusive over on Adam Lavis's Maverick Twitch account. Looking forward to that. And we'll also have it for you here on the Facebook page of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club Incorporated broadcast page. So make a note of all of that. That's 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. That's Porsche GT3s after the entree, which is GT4 and TCR. That is all coming away from Watkins Glen. And Friday night, the triple header from, again, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We're live from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, Montreal. Production cars, new car this week. The Mazda's gone, something else coming in. Looking forward to that. Might be the Mustang by the way Paul Nichols was speaking the other night. Prod cars into stock cars into supercars, all from Montreal. Looking forward to that round 3 of the championship. Next Monday night, off to South America. So we go to 3 different countries, but all within North and South America over the next few weeks. Off to South America next Monday night. The Interlagos circuit in Brazil. Sao Paulo, the venue for round 4 of Intro to Wings, and also the GT3 series, and we're looking forward to that immensely. And thanks again to everyone that's been a part of a massive 4 days, not just here on SimShed Broadcasting, but also Those of you that tuned into the coverage of the Queensland Karting Championships on West Bremer Radio and West Bremer Sport, been a great weekend of action. Really enjoyed all of that. And I'm going to go and rest the vocal cords for tomorrow and get back to ready to fire again on Wednesday. On behalf of Paul Nichols and our entire broadcast and production team and the commentators and everyone else that makes it happen for you on a Monday night, thanks so much for being with us. Dennis Gaderick, too damn good again. 3 from 3 as far as Series 3 is concerned. He's won 4 on the trot as far as Monday Night Motorsport GT3 racing is concerned. He is well and truly the man to beat, and he's out in front by 17 lengths and not looking back. He is he is the firm favourite. In fact, it's probably $1.01 odds at this point in time. We'll see if he can continue his winning streak in the Audi, his dominance of this series next week when we head to Interlagos. In the meantime, look forward to your company on Wednesday night when we go racing in New York, the Watkins Glen Circuit, Hump Day Pilot Series, GT4 TCR into the all-important Elite Pro GT3 Porsche Challenge, and we're looking forward to that immensely. Until then, on behalf of the crew, I'm Zach Caban. Goodbye for now.